is a gifted game developer. Pulled without warning into her own creation, God's chessboard, she's dragged in by her channel manager. Now living as must complete missions to appease the constellations. But her arrival disrupts broadcast, derailing the entire storyline. Will defy fate, conquer her trials, and reclaim her story. Follow Lisa as she chases the notorious BJ through a thrilling adventure. In the lavish room, nobles whisper as Lady Libby returns. Lady's uneasy expression says it all. Her half-sister, once thought dead, is back, and the Squire family's heir is now unmistakable. Oblivious to Lady standing before him, the man kept talking. With her notorious reputation, Duke Squire is bound to leave her soon. The moment his neighbor dropped a hint, he instantly switched tones, flattering Lady, "Miss, you must be thrilled your long-lost sister has returned." Hiding half her face behind a fan, simply shrugged. "Of course." He jolted at her reply. "What did you say?" Replied calmly, "I'm truly glad my sister is back." He forced a strained smile, but's gentle facade vanished. "Do you disapprove of my sister's return, Count? If so, I ought to inform my father, shouldn't I?" He quickly protested, "No, that's not what I meant, miss." "I apologize, miss." The moment left, a system notification flashed. Constellation Cinder Pass donated 100 coins. The Supreme Cinder Provider cheers, the plot twist maniac applauds, and the face appraiser shows emotion. Helpless, here's the constellations calling her trendsetter and unrivaled influencer. BJ watches on. The ultimate reverse harem game that will steal your heart, God's chessboard. Libby was shocked to discover she wasn't just an ordinary girl, she was the Duke's daughter. Reunited with the family who never stopped searching. In this sprawling mansion, heart-pounding encounters with charming men await, beginning with the gentle West, the commoner vice president of the student council. Up next, Elijah, Valhalla's genius professor. She couldn't break free from Clyde Willow, heir to the Willow family. Behold the Empire's ultimate trump card, Emperor. But her happiness shatters as her jealous sister, consumed by hatred, schemes to destroy her. That was the final straw for Duke Squire. Furious, he shouted, "I can't take it anymore, even if she's my daughter, take her away." Abandoned by her father, watched helplessly as he left with Libby, ignoring her desperate pleas. Loved by all, Libby finally found her happy ending. After wrapping up the ending, a girl felt uneasy. The villain had died too soon again. She'd been developing God's chessboard, a reverse harem game, for months. Her dedication showed in the quality, but the villains fell too quickly, killing all the suspense. She wondered, why are they dropping like flies? Did I make my characters too simple? The moment she spoke, she pulled up the character settings. Squire, envious, quick to anger when challenged, obsessed with her own superiority, and relentlessly bossy. She chuckled, realizing she'd packed all her worst traits into this, not even a third-rate side character. She studied the script, wondering, should I add more scenes of Duke Squire despising? After all, villains don't get family love. Honestly, it's almost funny, but for someone who is loved. So does that mean the other person is left unloved? She was ready to write more, but her hand suddenly froze. She'd never known her family's love, so she understood completely. The girl stretched with a sigh. Thinking about nonsense all day is exhausting. She kept working, her hand gliding over the mouse. I'll check it again before I leave. She unfolded the poster, eyes shining with admiration. She stifled a sigh, tired of this same opening. Then a thought struck her. Wait, has always been here, something's off. Why do there seem to be more male leads? Her eyes darkened and her head spun. In an instant, everything changed. Animations were still loading. The Duke's commanding voice echoed, "Wake up." The call jolted awake, her skin slick with sweat. She sat up, wiped her brow, and asked blankly, "What's wrong?" The Duke frowned. "Awake now." The final image snapped into view, gasped Duke. The room felt cinematic, a stranger's face oddly familiar. It was yet strangely familiar. She stared in disbelief. This had to be a dream. How else could this nightmare happen? The moment she got out of bed, the system flashed. Choose a channel name to start broadcasting. She entered Villainous BJ. The girl stared blankly at the floating words. System window, what does this mean, Villainous BJ? Before she could react, broadcast begins flashed on screen. Constellations had joined. This was the theme of the game the girl was creating, God's chessboard. She was never in a place to stream like a YouTuber. She never imagined it would go this far. Countless constellations tuned into the broadcast, mirroring the very chessboard of God she had crafted. The constellation face appraiser applauded the BJ's entrance. Lost in thought, was jolted by a commanding voice. You got drunk over a broken engagement and dared to defy your father. Even though I accepted the annulment, wasn't it all your fault? With that, he slapped hard across the face. The Duke kept scolding, saying, the young Earl you treated like a servant desperately begged me to break off the engagement. Do you realize how humiliating that is? Still believing she was dreaming, the girl froze as an apparition emerged behind her and a voice declared, "No, this is not a dream." She finally understood what was happening. "Let's have an honest conversation. I run this channel. Call me," he declared, settling confidently into his chair. She couldn't catch his name and stared blankly. Who are you?" "I didn't make this character. Did that jerk pull me into the game?" He assured her, "Relax, I'm offering you a good deal." Then he handed over a task list, unlocking the true ending of Heart Mode. He warned, "The reward is great, but failure brings harsh punishment. Is that your limit?" Suddenly, she thought of her family. "I'm deeply disappointed in you." Is it really so difficult to please your stepfather? Forget the birthday, mom's busy with the little ones. Why not try getting along with your siblings? Why should mom be the only one suffering? Continued, if a BJ fails, they're sent to hell. For you Shinwoo, that means reliving your childhood on an endless loop. The thought alone sends chills down your spine. Don't stress, it's only if you fail. God's chessboard beat hard mode for the true ending. Win and the broadcast ends, lose and you die. Reeled from words. The scene shifts to the Duke's office where he asks helplessly, how is she? The butler assured she'll be fine after some rest. The Duke sighed in frustration, rubbing his forehead. She had fainted again just after waking. The butler explained it's from accumulated stress. The Duke sighed. Was the annulment really that shocking? He remembered his daughter's shock and hurt when she learned he'd agreed to the annulment without ever asking her. I knew you didn't like me, but I never thought you'd hurt me like this. Collapsed into the Duke's arms. Looking back, the Duke felt a pang of regret had he acted rashly, like a father who ends his grown daughter's engagement, ignoring her heartfelt pleas. Ill-treated, the Duke commanded, lift's house arrest. The butler bowed. At once, sir. The Duke added, when she wakes, bring her favorite snacks. Fiercely argued with, I don't need it. Undeterred, he insisted, shop dream ticket 1 billion won, grant any wish once, but flatly refused, saying, I don't need it. Only seemed uninterested while everyone else, the constellations, buzzed with excitement and comments. Stop copying the ads, they protested, but pressed on. It can grant any wish you desire. Rubbed her forehead wearily, just send me home, that's all I want. The moment she finished, appeared behind her and murmured, you can only do that with a dream ticket. Spun around in shock, then leapt onto the chair as if nothing had happened. Surprising, I was sure you'd agree. Can you believe this deal? Because you crafted every piece on God's chessboard. Seeing the true ending with one of them will be effortless for you. Yelled, it's the exact opposite, you jerk. Libby captivates everyone with just her presence. No matter what does, remains the villain designed to spotlight Libby. She created a world that exists solely for the female lead. All that love shields her, there's no way a worldview forged through countless sleepless nights would crumble now. Reaching an ending with a romance target is impossible. Was that truly the only way home? Watched her, then said, at last you've shown an expression I like instead of that unsettling calm. Don't overthink it. See the true ending and complete the broadcast safely to join this world. But if that doesn't excite you, claim a dream ticket worth 1 billion won instead. Return to your world. Wouldn't it be truly disappointing if you can't even manage that? Disasters strike, wars rage, betrayal ignites, and revenge follows. Satisfy the constellations with gore, and you become the star of my first romance channel. Remember, I truly wish for your success. I hope and make it big as top BJs. As words faded, the illusion vanished and awoke in Lady's lavish room. The maid rushed over. Lady, you're awake. I changed your nightgown for your comfort. I cleared away the bottles. The maid started to speak but fell silent under his piercing gaze. She quickly apologized. Sorry, I was rude. I'll bring the wine right away. I'm sorry, it was an accident. Ignored the maid and demanded, where's my father the Duke? Is he in his office? At those words, sprang from bed, the maid rushing after her. Lady, where are you going dressed like that? Constellation Romance Pass donated 100 coins, so when does the male lead show up? Shot a glare and muttered, male leave my ass. This isn't easy mode, it's hard mode. Die in hard mode and it's game over. But winning over the male lead as is impossible, so instead. Its only chance at survival is to find the Duke. Wu rushed into the office shouting, Father. I need to tell you something. The Duke, startled by her attire, snapped, where do you think you are in that nightgown? Leave. You never let me have a moment's peace. Ignoring the taunt, cut straight to the point, I saw Libby recently. The Duke froze, what did you say? She instantly replied, she's the spitting image of my young stepmother. My sister vanished at just 2 years old. Libby's alive. The Duke swiftly dispatched men to retrieve Libby. In no time the girl arrived at the mansion. Welcome back. All eyes on her, Libby stepped forward. Stunned, the Duke and Duchess stared in disbelief. Libby stared in disbelief as the butler ushered her inside the mansion. The Duchess spotted her and rushed over, pulling her into a tight embrace. Gasps echoed around them, it's really Miss Libby, she's safe, thank God she's back. Just days earlier the moment was brought here, she rushed to the office and told the Duke, my sister is missing. Libby survived. Constellation Romance tried to stop her. Why hurt yourself? When your sister returns you'll be cast out. Understood, it was only natural to think that way, it was the truth, but she didn't care what happened once Libby returned. But first, set a condition. Let me stay in the Valhalla dorm and I'll reveal where I saw her. Valhalla Magic Academy, a prestigious institution at the heart of God's grand design, where we'll encounter all 3 male leads. The perfect chance to flee the Duke's house has arrived. Rumors swirled as she sensed too many death flags at home. Is the male lead about to appear? I can't wait to see BJ in uniform, I bet she'll look amazing. This is a deal, classic. Knew he had nothing to gain from lying. The Duke, astonished, asked, you want to trade for your father's grief? He cut himself off and decided on the spot, all right, I'll prepare a dormitory for you. The deal is final only after I confirm the truth. Stay where you are, if Libby comes back I'll throw a party. The celebration was real, everyone gathered to congratulate the Duke and Duchess. She looked just like the Duchess and holding Miss Libby filled her with joy. I couldn't hold back my tears. No one could remain unmoved by that moment. While the party buzzed with energy, sat alone in a corner, bored after slapping the guy back in chapter 1. It's underwhelming in person. I should tried harder on the opening scene. It's over the top. The constellation types again. Mr. Explain It All donates 100 coins, never forgiving those who cross the line like the noble who mocked the BJ earlier. MBTI is Science also sends 100 coins. Shocked the constellations believe in pseudoscience. How do they even know my MBTI? Then Mr. Explain It All donated 100 coins. Earth Broadcast is the most famous channel. Of course we know, was stunned Earth Broadcast. Is this a party with no food? Is the male lead showing up? Who are you looking for? That dog again. Read the comments answering everyone one by one. I'll answer their questions one by one, but I'll keep the most important thing to myself, she thought. Despite the constellation's hopes, cared only about reaching the hidden paradise ending, a secret route created for expert players. To survive, she must eliminate every threat to the male lead, chasing the one ending that needs no romance and guarantees her survival. The Duke lifted his glass and called out, "Everyone, your attention please. My precious daughter has come home at last. Eat and drink your fill tonight, everyone." Nobles gathered around Libby, showering her with praise. "Miss Libby, you look stunning tonight, welcome back." While everyone chatted and praised Libby, Lady went unnoticed. Wasn't wallowing in self-pity, she was too focused on dealing with these troublesome system issues. Constellation Drama Mania just dropped 100 coins. Feeling jealous yet? I bet that inferiority complex is flaring up inside you. Instantly replied, "Your personality matches your name." No need for jealousy, reminded herself. She had crafted the female lead with all her wishes. After all, that role was never meant for her. Suddenly someone approached Wu, curious about his muttering. Blinked in surprise. The boy pressed on, "What are you planning?" Despite his small size, the boy treated with hostility. Meet the youngest son of Duchess. Meet Squire, a legendary magic prodigy who's turned heads at academies since he was just 13. Wondered, why is he challenging me? Met with silence, jabbed a finger at Wu and yelled, "You. I heard it all. You argued with that uncle. Drop the act. You think I don't know you hate Sister Libby." Despite its rudeness, simply sighed and corrected him. "It's sister, not you." The boy jumped up, demanding, "What did you say?" Sensing his stubbornness, she stepped closer. Knelt to meet's gaze. His cheeks were already flushed. "What's wrong?" Suddenly recalled her sibling in the real world. "Do you really think this will make Dad notice you? You'll never belong to this family." Despite everything, didn't hate Squire. In fact, she still found him adorable. His voice boomed, but his tone softened. "What do you mean by that?" Answered slowly. "You really do look just like his little brother." The boy stammered. "What?" Repeated. "You're totally my little brother." That word set off. He shouted, "Shut up. Since when were you my sister? I don't like you at all." As they spoke, a woman suddenly appeared. Duchess stepped forward and softly reminded them, "We have guests. Why all the noise?" Recognized her instantly. "She's looking for you. With return to your seat." Shouted yes and dashed into the party. Duchess watched him go inside. "He's still just a child." "Did make you uncomfortable?" "I'm sorry," her mother said. Quickly replied, "No need to apologize, mother." The Duchess smiled. "Is that so? You seem upset, so I. What's got you uneasy? Is it Libby coming back?" Her smile remained, but her words cut straight through. Carefully crafted persona, outwardly warm and gentle. She was a mother who'd spill blood for her daughter. If she saw as a threat to Libby, she wouldn't hesitate to strike. Her gaze turned icy, void of affection. "Be honest, what do you think of Libby?" But stood fearless. She refused to go down without a fight. Smiled warmly and assured her, "Don't worry, mother, I'm leaving the Duke's mansion." Duchess gasped, "What do you mean?" She stated flatly, "Stepmother wins. So I'm not the heir after all. I've joined Valhalla dormitory, won't be home until I graduate. Soon I'll give up my claim as heir." Departed, leaving Duchess behind. Days later, cleaned her room. She shouted, "What are you doing? Will you finish arranging the room today at this pace? Move the furniture there and clean it thoroughly." A maid rushed over. "Miss, your new carpet has arrived." Asked, "This is the finest wool, correct?" The maid nodded, "Yes." Set it down gently. Decorating Libby's room all morning had worked up her appetite. Constellation Seeking BJ Mukbang donated 100 coins. "Eat something now and I'll toss in 500 more." Read the comment and thought, my goal is the hidden ending, but I should grab as much money as possible just in case. With that, she waved her hand and called out, "You wait." What was that side character's name? "Penny, grab me some snacks." The maids froze, eyeing her with suspicion. Sensed the shift. Are they worried we'll torment the maids again? She ignored it. Wu said, "I'll be in the study as usual. Bring it to me when it's ready." Turned away and vanished. Such is the fate of a villain. Hua slipped into the study alone. She slipped inside and shut the door behind her. She opened the status window. Squire's summary flashed into view. Squire family heiress, age 21, magic rank B, intelligence C+, mana. Acted to test her hunch. If there's a shop, there must be a status window. Looks like she was right. Just as planned, the constellations are eager to know what the BJ is thinking. Quickly responded, "I'm considering settings." Summoned her magic once more. Burn bright, little flame. Despite lacking smarts, compensates with immense mana, making her a mage by necessity. Even couldn't help but admire this bonus feature. The constellations burst into laughter at the BJ's innocent amazement, while the spoiled one is especially delighted by her wonder at a magical world. Secretly smiled, no practice needed, yet magic still obeyed her command. Constellation Mr. Explain-It-All nodded. With that much mana, it'd be odd if you couldn't use magic. Said his sights, so intelligence is the only stat I need to focus on. The constellations watched, curious about the BJ's words. Delved into books, uncovering that magic in the divine game hinges on formulas. Crafting the formula is like solving math. The stronger the magic, the more intricate the equation. The magic books are fully developed. If focuses, she could accomplish something incredible. Constellation, sorry, I'm bad at math, donated 100 coins. What are you even saying, bookworm? Answered, eyes on the book. Having lots of mana doesn't make you skilled at magic. Mastering advanced magic requires studying spell books, but's hatred for reading kept her brilliance hidden. The constellation conspiracy theorist chuckled, commenting, is the BJ hiding her true power? With more knowledge she could save the world. Instantly shut it down, not interested. I just need to boost it to a B+. As Lady spoke with the stars, a maid burst in. My lady, your meal is here. Waved dismissively, just leave it. The maid hesitated, unsure where to place it. Eyes squeezed shut in fear, the little girl whispered, sorry, I'm too clumsy. But showed no anger, just a gentle reply, it's okay, you did well, Penny. The maid's excitement grew as she heard those words. Miranda stepped forward beside Lady. What bothers you? Briefly questioned her presence, gave a quick answer and returned to her book. That's still a good thing. Miranda said, I never expected you to remember a mere maid's name, miss. Since she's the maid you noticed, I'll oversee her training myself. Was once again confused, noticed, what does she mean? The maid's envious whispers quickly reached the ears. Jealous are you? Go tend to Miss Libby, must be your first day, so listen up. Lady never remembers names. After 10 years, she still can't recognize the faces of her own maids. She only remembers 2 staff from the start, Miranda and Butler. That's pure instinct, she's not stupid, she only remembers the capable. Constellation conspiracy theorist commented, she's been playing the long game, is she aiming to control it all? Rubbed her temples thinking, what am I even doing? Sunlight poured through the window, filling the tiny room. Miranda remained, addressing Lady. The Duke, he wants to know if you'll join him for dinner tonight in the dining room. Blinked in surprise, he never cared if I showed up before. But in an instant she realized the problem. Memory flooded back. February 20th. It's birthday today. On her 22nd birthday. Hurried into the dining room as the Duke's voice echoed, you're here. Take a seat. Was taken aback by the Duke's demeanor today. Her seat was set apart from the others, yet sat down and remarked, Father seems to be in good spirits. This is absurd, but I'm the one who rewrote the story. The Duke instantly replied, today is a wonderful day. The Duke's words sparked a flicker of hope in. Then he announced, Libby's blood test results are in. The words jolted awake. She forced a bitter smile. I knew it, of course they'd forget's birthday. Duchess went on, it's hard to believe. This is the perfect picture of a happy family except's missing. Beamed, Sister Libby, will you come to Valhalla next semester? In that moment, finally understood her own loneliness. The Duke gently asked, Libby, what would you like for your homecoming gift? A clear sign he'd forgotten her birthday again. Constellation Make-A-Mania was disappointed. Constellation Cinder Taste left out of boredom, and Constellation Loving Romance impatiently asked, when will the male lead finally appear? All of this showed was unnecessary, yet still wanted to ask for something for her father. Could she also request a gift? But the hardest part was yet to come. I want to buy something. Could you spare me some money? Before she could finish, the Duke cut in, we'll discuss this later. I refused to let anger ruin such a joyful day. Set down her fork and replied coolly, so when can I talk to you, father? Do you ever have time to listen? She barely spoke before the Duke slammed the table and roared. She's back, your sister just arrived. And you're whining about wasting money on something pointless. The comments erupted. Cinderpass urged her to claim it was her birthday, scolded her for not throwing beef in his face, and Loving Romance predicted the male lead would save her, followed by a grand celebration. Refused to humiliate herself by saying it aloud. Just like in Swirled, your sister's competition takes priority. Your birthday doesn't matter now, so don't trouble mom. Days like this are never important, they said. Once again, the eldest daughter is overlooked. Sighed inwardly, had I known I'd become, I never would set things up this way. Finally spoke up, today's my birthday. I won't trouble father, especially since you don't remember. The Duke snapped, how old are you, still blaming your father for your birthday? The moment he spoke, unease crept in. Was he being too harsh? What if she causes trouble now? Didn't argue, rising to her feet she admitted, I crossed a line. I'm leaving. Letting you do this is gift enough. The Duke's gaze transformed everything. Yet he remained oblivious. Mid the misery could only fault herself, after all she wrote this fate. Was he mad that stood up to him? As she turned to go, the Duke called out, that will not be the gift. Blinked in shock, what? The Duke, gentler than ever, said, if you're tired, return to your room. I'll send you a blank check, use it for anything you need. Was left speechless, a blank check. She stammered, confused, no, that's a bit, but the Duke cut her off. You're a squire's daughter and you think a blank check is too much. He's dead serious, a squire family check could buy a whole mine. If it were Libby, no one would blink, but why hand it to a pro-liar like? The Duke pressed on, saying, if you truly hate it, just say no. Didn't hesitate, she answered instantly, no, I'll gladly accept. Thank you, father. Turned away and left. Does he care about me only because Libby's here? Then there was no reason to say no. As left the dining room, she greeted Libby with a warm welcome home. Thanks, Ziz. Today was special for Libby and I ruined it. I'll head out now. Cherish every moment with your family. Stepped into the hall and silence fell once more. The chat blew up. Cinder Taste donated 101 delicious. More. Loving Romance sent 101 no male lead, but I'm hooked. Amazing. Speed Up dropped 101 I'm dying here. I'll just lie down. Constellation donated 101. Please level up the channel to bronze. I'm losing my mind since I can only donate 101 at a time. But strength was fading fast. The channel hit 10,001 in donations faster than anyone else. New constellations joined, certain they'd never be disappointed. Cinder was simply the best. Did a family member have feelings for the streamer? From now on, just follow along. From life, constantly craving others' affection. Believed she was free at last. Just as I thought, it was still impossible. His consciousness was slipping away. It's back. You truly are the BJ I've been waiting for. Congratulations, miss, your channel just leveled up. Announced there are 5 channel ranks. First is bronze, then silver. Gold, platinum, diamond. As spoke, time froze around him. Stared in awe, kept talking, and with each channel rank up, the maximum donation tenfold. Caught on quickly, so now that I'm on the silver channel, I can get up to 1,001 per donation, right? Asked bewildered, do BJs really buy dream tickets? Even at diamond rank, you can only earn 1,000,001. How could anyone possibly collect 1,000,001 for a single ticket? Simply smiled in response. He struck his staff and the world warped instantly. Magic engulfed them both. Stumbled, clutching for support. Announced every streamer I picked has secured a ticket. You can do it too. He led her straight to a massive door. He spoke as they walked through the door together. Moments later, the two returned to the study. With a wave of his hand, summoned countless magical tomes. Is learning magic fun? I brought advanced magical knowledge from another realm just for you. You really seem to enjoy it. Despite their safe landing, still clung to his hand. She struggled, released instantly. Oh, I forgot. Swiftly broke the binding spell and said, you look unwell, this is the only way. Wu dodged the question, I was just trying too hard. Magic, she realized, didn't work at all. So I have no choice but to give in to the channel manager, huh? Glanced up from his book and asked, Wu, have you gotten used to this body? You've been surprisingly proactive. Got straight to the point, I need 1,000,000,001, that's it. Hearing her question, paused a bit stunned. Pressed on, you must have a reason for pulling me out, even freezing time during an ad. Quickly regained his composure and replied, I have nothing to do with you. Well, grew even more perplexed. Then why are you here, she asked, answered plainly, as channel manager it's my duty to check on you. He spoke, closing in on. Cornered and repeated, most people like it. With a simple trick, understood. Don't you like being near me, Wu? Channel manager. Wondered, startled, he's beyond even the constellations. If this guy snaps, I'll vanish now. With a single gesture, he wipes away all the excess. Asked, then watched response. Despite her reluctance, forced herself to obey his wishes. Caught on, you hate faking closeness, don't you? I get it. Wu cut off, whispering, I'm afraid of you. His eyes widened in surprise at her words. Continued, I'm not sure I can trust you, that's all. Grinned, so you're being honest now. Revealed her true feelings to him. Why bother hiding it? He saw right through her. Erupted with laughter. His hand brushed her hair. Still don't know your place, do you? We're not the type to trust or depend on each other. Wu, aren't you just a plaything? From now on I'll call you, maybe then you'll grasp your situation. Hearing this, could only curse silently, that bastard. She opened her mouth to scold him but intervened. I should head back now, she thought. Surprised by the lengthy ad, he snapped his fingers. Life went on untouched. The tea tray slips from Penny's hand, finally falling as time resumes. The girl screamed in fear as the teacup shattered. In the study, reminded Wu, remember your place if you want to be loved. Mid-conversation, suddenly swept her into his arms. He kissed her farewell. Shocked, shoved him aside but ignored it and said, now I'll bring the constellations back. Reached out, calling urgently, wait. The moment he crossed the threshold, he vanished. See you next time. Only 2 maids remained tidying up. His eyes widened in shock, he was gone. Seeing her expression, the maid quickly apologized, I'm sorry, miss. I broke the teacup, I'll clean it up now. Stayed silent, her exhaustion clear on her face. Even if she'd been looking forward to this, one thing was certain. If there's a way to overthrow him, she wouldn't hesitate. The thought barely faded before staggered to her feet again. In an instant, her strength vanished and she collapsed before the Duke, who rushed to her side. Every time faced in this world, she was left mysteriously drained. The Duke led to her room and asked anxiously, how's? The doctor replied swiftly, she just fell asleep. She collapsed from dizziness, but with the medicine we prescribed, she'll be back on her feet soon. Once the doctor left, the Duke glanced around the secluded room and confided to, how could a squire's daughter live in such isolation? Why isn't she in a better room? Said gently, I'm sorry, miss, refused to leave this room. Hearing this, the Duke wondered, would the truly arrogant choose a rarely visited empty room at the end of the hall? In that instant, he understood the gravity of his actions. He blamed himself, have I really been so indifferent too, but quickly rejected the thought, no, you've always done your best. The Duke sat by his daughter's bedside, finally realizing he'd always believed he could never be wrong. Today I met her gaze. A strange ache gripped my chest. Was provoking me again, she's stubborn to the core. But suddenly her behavior changed completely, exclaimed, well, she's 22 now after all. The Duke was flooded with memories of his young daughter. Father always obeyed. But now his daughter was unexpectedly defiant. He sighed and admitted, that's right. She's 22. He lost track of time until finally woke up and immediately dove back into the comments. Cinderpass donated 1,001. Her illness struck at the perfect moment. It's like the universe is backing this stream. Conspiracy theorist donated 1,001. Convinced the BJ planned it all. Haha is just playing right into her hands. Skimmed the series, completely lost. She stared in confusion. What are these? The notifications vanished quickly. These gifts must be recent. Do people really give out gifts nonstop? Just then the maids noticed she was awake and rushed over. Lady, are you feeling better? Was surprised. They all look so different. Were these really maids? Simply replied, I'm fine. Can you help me get ready? As the maid prepared, a sudden knock echoed from outside. Who could be visiting at this hour? Wu sprang to his feet and called for the men to enter. The door swung open to reveal a team carrying brand new furniture. A staff member rushed to Wu. Miss, the new furniture is here. Throws awkwardly, what's going on? The workers quickly finished moving everything in. Can we leave the door open while we arrange the furniture? They asked. Wu stared, confused. Why are we suddenly adding all this perfect furniture? He quickly responded, the head of the family said these items aren't worthy of your status and ordered a complete replacement. The mention of status caught off guard, since when did have status? She shrugged it off, after all she wasn't paying, so why worry, even if concern for did seem a bit odd. All right, I get it, just this once. He gently urged, please miss, stay calm and wait in the garden until it's over. The Duke has something he wants to give you. A birthday gift from the Duke. Butlers silently pulled up the carriage for. Stunned, she wondered, is this my own carriage? It is. Was stunned, this couldn't be real. A blank check is one thing, but a whole carriage. Smiled, the Duke had this made just for your birthday. The Duke finds this far from extravagant. This was likely's first gift ever, so she must have been confused, but I believe this is it. Witnessing her state, the constellation typed, haha, bus donated 1,001. I found my shelter. The materialist applauded while quickly checked her memory. She hadn't mentioned personal carriage. This must be the one Libby received for her birthday. As hesitated, Duke's distant voice rang out, this is all your birthday gift. He approached her. The Duke, Duchess, and her youngest brother were all present. How do you feel? Replied swiftly, I'm fine now. The Duke sighed in relief. That's good to hear. The moment saw the Duke's family, her mind raced. Does he feel guilty for forgetting my birthday? But it's birthday, of course he'd forget. The Duke broke the silence. Do you like the carriage? Though confused, promptly and politely answered her father's question. Yes, I love it, thank you, father. Even if I'm uncertain, accepting can't hurt. His coldness etched deeper lines into his father's face as he quietly replied, I understand. Answered her father while keenly observing. He moves in for a closer look. Looks like this is the age when boys become car-obsessed. Stepped forward and invited, come closer, take a look. You've never seen a carriage like this before, have you? The door swung open, gasped, wow. Recited technical specs for the carriage, revealing that its simple-looking interior actually demands cutting-edge engineering. Crafted from premium heat-resistant materials, its simple look hides a high price tag. Its lightweight design absorbs wheel shock, making it safer. Finished speaking, then instantly blushed as she realized her mistake. A comment popped up, sorry, I'm a science expert, just tipped 1,000 coins, more technical info please, turned to Wu and asked, how do you know all this? Just as was at a loss for words, her savior arrived. Every gaze fixed on the little girl. Libby inched forward, hesitant. Scanned the room, anticipating Libby's move. She knew every detail, after all, she and her team built this carriage themselves. A cherished young woman created just for Libby. Libby stepped forward, exclaiming, this carriage is stunning. Softly answered, yeah, I know. She noticed Libby's difference instantly, yet acted as if she hadn't seen it. Should I turn back? Barely thought it before the words slipped out, I'm going back to my room. His request to return to her room left Libby visibly flustered. She shouted, sister. Wait, the little girl rushed over, grabbed his arm, and shyly offered her a small gift. It's not much, but happy birthday. Suddenly recalled, the story unfolds today. Libby discovers birthday is overdue and offers her a gift, but coldly tosses it aside without a glance. Realizing it meant certain death, did the opposite. She cheerfully took Libby's gift. Will you open it? Libby nodded, eyes shining with excitement. Though the gift wasn't expensive, its meaning was priceless. Did she make it herself? Her meticulous skill suggests so. Accepted the gift with a warm smile. It's beautiful, thank you. Libby gave a shy nod. Slipped the bracelet onto her wrist and smiled. It's beautiful, thank you. Libby's eyes sparkled as she exclaimed, I'm so happy, I was worried I didn't know your size. At last, Duchess broke her silence. Your heart is admirable, but still falls short for the Squire family's eldest daughter. Stared at the Duchess in disbelief, suspicion flickering in her eyes. Duchess removed her bracelet. This was part of my wedding dowry, though it hardly matches today's jewelry. but it's a premium aquamarine jade bracelet. She slipped the bracelet onto his wrist, only now do I realize I never congratulated her. Happy birthday. Handled things smoothly before, but meeting Duchess, gaze left her speechless and unsure. This scene isn't in the original story, and it's the first time I've ever received a gift, one filled with true sincerity. From the back, the Duke spoke up, at least say thank you, his voice startled Wu. That's a problem, won't tolerate being rude to his wife. Quickly apologized, sorry for being rude and thank you for the gift. She whispered anxiously, I've never received anything like this before. Gratefully accepting, apologized and quickly departed. Startled, Duke Roll realized he'd hurt his daughter and stammered, wait. No matter how he pleaded, she kept going. Fled at full speed, never daring to glance back. Constellations and Romance Lover each gifted 1,000 coins as the comments flooded in. Raced ahead, thoughts swirling with confusion. Libby, unsure how to leverage the Squire fortune, simply did her best. Meanwhile, Rose acted shrewdly, ensuring Libby's innocent gift couldn't be used against her. Dashed to the lake and halted, gazing its reflection shimmering on the water. She sighed, realizing it's because I grew up without love. I cling to meaningless things, lost to even my own purpose. The next day dawns at the Squire residence. Dusk settled as in the maids finished preparations. All set, miss. Penny admired its reflection and smiled, you look beautiful today. The excited Constellations eagerly awaited clues. My heart raced. Is this true beauty? The Constellation face expert gifted 1,000 coins. Stared into the mirror, thinking all they ever see is this face. Penny asked, puzzled, isn't tomorrow the first day of school? Why are you dressed up today? Smiled and said, it's nothing, just picking up a few things at the auction. The key to dimensions is essential for reaching the Heaven Seal, and when used to unlock a specific location, the chance of randomness is minimal. To find paradise. When Penny heard was heading to the auction, concern flashed across her face. Will you be alright? Count might be there too. The name left stunned for a moment. Who's that? But then she suddenly remembered, that's X. That's not, so she's unfazed. Besides, the broken engagement is my fault. Noticing sadness, Penny quickly apologized. Sorry for bringing it up again, you must still be hurting. Replied, I'm fine. Penny nodded, alright, I'll go now. Only cared about the key. The key's first appearance is tonight at the hotel auction. As descends the stairs, she unexpectedly encounters, what is he doing here at this hour? His eyes burned with hatred and anger. The moment spotted Wu, he shouted, you're headed to the auction in that outfit. Do I look weird or something? Eyed herself warily, does this dress really suit me? Cleared his throat, eyes fixed on the dress's hem. As he spoke, his magic transformed his dress. With every step, it sparkled like starlight. The boy's actions left Hua even more bewildered. Though pretended to dislike, he helped her prepare, making their relationship a bit more acceptable. Constellation conspiracy theorist gifted 1,000 coins. He's clearly fallen for her. The auction hall buzzed with nobles deep in conversation, the atmosphere charged with change. A stunning blue carriage rolled up to the gate, capturing every eye. That luxurious carriage, judging by the insignia, it must belong to the Squire Duke family. Every gaze fixed on the girl stepping from the carriage. Could she be Miss Squire? As expected, stepped gracefully out of the carriage. A royal figure stepped forward, bowing deeply. We've been expecting you, Miss Squire. Right this way. His arrival turned heads. I'd heard the rumors, but never thought they were real. Oh my god, that sparkling dress shimmers like fairy dust. A man sneered, craving attention. Are you? No one wants to marry a girl who throws money away. That's why her engagement fell apart. Wu heard every word. She glanced over, silent. Her stare sent fear through the group. Wondered, who is this character? I don't even remember them. An ordinary side character entangled with a villain marked by endless death flags. The Constellations chimed in nonstop until Prose silenced them with a 1,000 coin gift, making her look weak. I said it all. Won't let this slide, she ordered her maid. Yes, miss. Won't act openly, but she'll uncover their families, and if we cross paths again, she'll make it clear their names are off the list of nobles. Answered at once, yes ma'am, I'll take care of it. Brightened up and said, let's go shopping. The Constellation Center gifted 1,000 coins, broadcasting at full volume, pure satisfaction as you enter a lavish hall filled with gathering nobles. Gasped, I've only ever heard rumors about parties like this. Only the most exceptional families are allowed here. Realized that even among nobles, only VIPs could access this place. Turned to and said, there's no need for servants here, everyone just relax and don't draw attention. The maids cheered, really? Then I'll stay close by, just call if you need anything, miss. Despite her efforts to stay unnoticed, his presence turned every eye her way. They're all renowned nobles, some even outranking. Countless people are eager to seize this chance. To win her favor. Stood still as someone suddenly brushed past, bumping into her. He smirked, I just needed to turn around. The moment he turned, his gaze locked with his and he froze. A scream pierced the air, drawing every eye back to her. The person dropped to their knees, stammering, Miss, forgive me for daring to look at you. Stared in shock, wait, what did I do to deserve this? Had no memory of sex, until the sight of his bald spot sparked recognition. Bullied others until their hair fell out, refusing to end the engagement unless they knelt before the Duke and begged. Softly said, you can go, we're all uneasy. At that bolted calling back, thank you, I'll remember this favor to my grave. The mood brightened, but all eyes were on her. stepped forward, lifting a glass of wine with grace. Even when she tried to go unnoticed, everyone who passed couldn't resist stealing a glance. She's no longer just a ticking time bomb now, she's seen as a full-blown disaster. Honestly, she feels great about it. As relaxed at her own party, a voice called out from behind, "Oh my goodness, miss. Didn't expect to see you here, are you doing all right?" Paused, puzzled, she couldn't recall the character, even though she made the game herself. Who is this again? Suddenly, Constellation I Love You gifted 1,000 coins. Frustrated viewers grumbled, "Stop watching, go back to stream." Uneasy Constellation stirred as Constellation Angle also gifted 1,000 coins. Fans had truly flooded the Silver Channel. Sighed, great, the joke's here. The more unreasonable a person is, the more chaos they unleash. No game is made by just one person, even developers can't remember every side character. The graphic team captured them in a single illustration. Moderator just disciplined viewer I love you, proof that moderators are actively managing the channel. The three unfamiliar girls deciding to overlook it, after all, is a total wild card. Another figure stepped forward. A familiar voice called out behind, so many familiar faces here. Can I join in? The other three were a blur too, but the moment she saw this face, her eyes lit up with recognition. Meet Mrs. the Marquis family's noblewoman, renowned for her dignity and royal lineage. She'll soon become Libby's etiquette teacher. If she slips up now, it could spell disaster. Mrs. Shady approached with a greeting. It's been a long time, miss. Great to meet you. Was tasked to greet Mrs. with flawless etiquette fail, and her reputation in high society would plummet. If her reputation falls too low, she'll be barred from seeing the queen. Froze in shock, a mission out of nowhere. Proper etiquette means greeting Mrs. first since she holds the highest rank, but I don't know the others' names or titles. At least give me a hint. Fresh items hit the shelves, scanned the selection, then dialed the store. She was instantly transported to another dimension. Surrounded by countless helpful items, she noticed the store's goods revealing their unique powers. Among them, a 1 billion ticket that could grant any wish. For 5,000, unlock any character's info, evens memories from before you arrived. For 9,900, master perfect etiquette for any situation. Current balance, 98,900. After a brief search, quickly found the character information she needed and purchased it without hesitation. She also bought elementary etiquette, instantly transforming from a novice to a ritual expert. She kept chatting with Mrs. saying, "I didn't expect to see you today, but it's an honor to meet you like this." Mrs. Shady's face remained unreadable. Still remained unfailingly polite. The woman beside her gasped, "My, you've blossomed into a true lady." Beamed and said, "Thank you, Mrs." Mrs. spoke up again, her tone scrutinizing, sensing the shift in the atmosphere. Was briefly surprised but unfazed, she'd already greeted them perfectly. Mrs. Shady smiled warmly, "I hope we can talk again soon." Was stunned when Mrs. Suddy smiled out of nowhere. The Constellation instantly flooded her with comments. Constellation Bullseye gifted 1,000. Unlike other streamers who hoard them, she puts every precious to good use, at least in her eyes. But if the game isn't stable. Proves her savvy, swiftly greeting Mrs., buying another item and impressing everyone, especially when the Constellation girl who loves romance gifts her 1,000. Now that's next level. The lady sat with, recalling her recent birthday. I still picture her as a child. How did she grow into such a beautiful young woman? Even this lunatic is starting to seem human. Though she felt it in her heart, remained composed. "You flatter me." Mrs. Shady smiled and said, "Maybe this year will be different. Especially during the Flower Festival." Constellation, the romance-loving girl, was intrigued. The Flower Festival is a crucial rite on the journey to the throne. Prize for the brightest young lady at August's summer party. To be crowned by the emperor. Unfazed, Wu replied coolly, "I'm focusing on my studies." Impressed by the news, the lady exclaimed, "So diligent, and that bracelet is adorable. Where'd you get that?" Noticed the striking bracelet on her wrist and smiled softly, lifting it. My sister made it for my birthday." Despite being a small gift, it captured everyone's attention. The Squire family just found their lost child. Suddenly you have a new sister, yet you two seem to get along surprisingly well. Paused in silence, not answering right away. Recalling the moment her little sister chased after her with a gift. Replied honestly, "Anyone who meets her will like her, I truly believe that." The room fell silent after that answer. Hesitated, did I go too far? That must be it. To spare embarrassment, Mrs. stepped in, just like my sister did at her own wedding. The other ladies quickly chimed in, "Me too. Back then we fought and argued nonstop, even hated each other, but now I miss those days." Sisters bicker over little things but make up as if nothing happened, they're best friends at heart. As a princess, you might experience this bond too. One day I hope you and your sisters get along beautifully. Hearing those words, felt relieved. She doubted anything like that would happen with Libby, but still replied, "I'll remember your advice. I'll take my leave now." Rose to leave, but a hand stopped her. "Hold on, miss. You helped me remember, thank you." Froze in shock, I hadn't done a thing. The Constellations instantly responded, the most romantic gifted 1,000, saying, "I love moments like this." Pure romance followed, gifting another 1,000 with, "Me too, this is what I cherish." Though didn't understand their words, she smiled and gratefully accepted their thanks. The auction dragged on as item 15 hit the floor. Anonymous sent a gift. An enchanted key. Its magic remains a mystery. We have no idea where this key will take us. The auction starts now. Beneath the podium, nobles whispered excitedly, a magic key, another rare antique. The bidding starts fast. 100,000, now 400,000. Who will raise it to 500,000? Shot her hand up. 1 million ling. 1 million go, maximum limit reached. Every gaze locked on. The auctioneer called out, if there are no higher bids, the item goes to Miss Squire. Soon after, the party ended and returned home. Constellations lit up the comments, dazzled by wild spending. The magic key was hers. Using the gifted suit, bought a random auction item. Responding to comments, he revealed, this key's an Easter egg. Let me show you why. Aren't you all curious? Why did I buy this key and pick such an isolated room? The moment lifted the key, it glowed with a strange light. The key turned and light burst forth. Light floods the room, revealing everything within. The key unlocked a door overflowing with gold, silver, and jewels. Constellation materialism rules rewarded 1,000 su. Wasn't surprised, it was the vast fortune of the former Duke Squire. But there was one thing it couldn't unlock, the hidden Easter egg. Materialism rules chimed in again, knew I could count on her. Dug through the chest, determined to find something valuable. She swiftly discovered a purple jade. That thing was priceless. With a spark of excitement, commanded, store everything in this magical brooch, only to discover it was actually a tiny chest. The constellations fretted over losing their wealth, but quickly assured them the brooch was bound, impossible to steal or move. Satisfied with the game system, the constellations had no further questions. But one thing still troubled, 2 Easter eggs remain locked, even with the multidimensional key. The treasured chest awaits. The other is the Paradise Seal, a secret we can't let the constellations or discover. Everyone believed it was the key to the treasure chest. The tutorial is over. Tomorrow the true game of God begins. The young man sits listlessly as the window frame slowly changes. He sat in silence, staring out. Started her first day of school early this morning. Libyan stepped out of the car and the little girl gasped, wow, at the sight before her. I'm so glad we're going to the same school. I'm scared. I never even knew I had magic until now. Suddenly thrust into Valhalla Academy, only stared in silence as her sister spoke. In the game, Libby starting school felt like a big deal, but in real life it's just ordinary. After a pause, finally called Libby. She asked, why not use this carriage? It's a waste to let it sit unused. Libby paused. Thank you, sister, it was yours first. Libby glanced around and whispered, sister, everyone's staring at us. Wondered why all eyes were on the infamous. Despite everything, forced a calm reply, of course it's natural to notice a beautiful new student. Constellation romance taste gifted 1,000, so why haven't we seen the male lead yet? Instead she read the message, didn't understand, and just ignored it. She kept chatting with Libby, the opening ceremony in the auditorium, I'll take you. She barely finished her sentence when his voice echoed from afar. Nearby the girls crowded together, each one shouting, Senior, I love you, you look handsome today. Libby was drawn by the shouts as the student council vice president quickly explained. Glancing over, thought, he's surrounded, I can't see him. But there's one thing I need to confirm, and I don't have to confront him myself. As prepared to make his move, he slipped away from the crowd of girls. He dashed off and collided with Libby. As a Squire scholar, he couldn't simply walk past her. Everything was set for the plan to work, but didn't run into Libby. Instead, a boy suddenly appeared behind. Collided with her, not Libby. Rushed to apologize, are you okay? Blinked in surprise, he was supposed to bump into Libby, not me. Constellation beauty lover gifted 1,000, practically bursting with satisfaction. Froze in stunned silence. She quickly chose and the system revealed. West, 22 years old, 187 tall, born January 31, enjoys toys, cooking and sports, despises nobles and has 0 affection. So far the affection meter showed level 1, a black heart, meaning could be won over. Was shocked since a black heart means the male lead's reactions start at friendship. Affection level 2 unlocks best friends. Affection level 3 means a crush has begun. At affection level 4, love begins. An affection level 5 marks the true ending, where the two head toward marriage. Even after finishing, couldn't explains black heart. Unlike the red heart, the black heart signals danger, a path toward death. Affection level 1 wary, level 2 cautious, level 3 threatened, level 4 murderous intent, level 5 bad ending. Consider this your warning. Eyed in confusion, yes, a black heart from the start fits me as, but isn't this a bit too intense? The constellations are intently watching the BJ's male lid. In a flash, recalled her own answer, may look down on for being a commoner, but there's no reason for such arrogance or misplaced affection. Quickly turned the tables, flashing a smile as she greeted, long time no see, did you enjoy your holiday? Was visibly taken aback by her question. He quickly replied, you're in a good mood today, smiled, I have my reasons. Presenting, meet Libby, my long-lost sister. Libby jumped in, hi, I'm Libby, nodded hello. Face to face with thought, this may not sway his feelings, but if I keep this up I might just cheat death. While speaking with Libby, spared just a glance. Struck up a conversation as we headed to the new student's opening ceremony. He must have noticed something odd in my behavior. His expression was as unreadable as when I spot a bug in the game. Smiled warmly, could you take my sister? Replied icily, that's easy. But how did she know I'm heading to the opening ceremony? Studied intently. Wanted to scream she was the developer behind the game. Despite it all, forced a calm facade, just like everyone expected. Please take care of my sister's words were cut short by a distant scream. Squire. A furious pink-haired woman stormed over. And Libby stared at her in stunned silence. She scowled and yelled, get away from now. Instantly recognized Mimosa. Even in Valhalla where fairness reigns, some still treat unjustly. Mimosa is one of them. Mimosa, a noblewoman of the family and a villain-like, is the emperor's half-niece, making her of royal blood. Mimosa grimaced at her royal lineage clear in her purple eyes and pink hair. Mimosa rushed over, shoved aside, and yelled, are you insane, flirting with? Moved to stop Mimosa but beat him to it. She seized Mimosa's hand with a bright smile. Wow, it's been ages, how was your holiday? Startled by, Mimosa staggered back. Still she stood her ground. This is my sister Libby, think twice before you bully her. From now on I can't guarantee your safety, warned, her smile masking a threat. Mimosa gasped and yelled, what did you just say, are you threatening me? Realized it was for her own good. Libby surpasses even the royal family. As the female lead, a single misstep could cost her life, so acted to protect Mimosa. Nearby, people stir as and Mimosa argue once more, apparently because greeted. Unbelievable. Leads Clyde's bride-to-be club, a fact overheard from fellow students. Whispers fill the room as vice president of the elite focuses solely on Clyde. Blushed when she realized the so-called social club was actually a fan club. In Valhalla, two rival clubs vie for two male leads, one destined to marry Clyde. Two people are obsessed with. Leads the club, Mimosa heads two rival presidents, sworn enemies in a kingdom that can't have two rulers. Took the blame, though I barely gave it a second thought while writing. Now I'm utterly. Noticing strange expression, Libby asked with concern, are you okay? Hesitated. Libby, don't worry about me, go with, Mimosa overheard and shouted, are you serious? Why would you let your sister go with him? Winced at Mimosa's shriek, she's impossible, I need to escape. Her savior has arrived, spots a man in the distance. Her eyes sparkled instantly. Spun around, resting her hand on Mimosa's shoulder. She laughed, oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm on my way with Mimosa to meet the professor, I totally forgot. Mimosa froze, wait, why me see you? In an instant, Wu pulled Mimosa away against her will, there was nothing she could do. Constellation Cinderpass gifted 1,000 Su, now watch etiquette in action live. Mimosa kept screaming in Seer, are you insane, you're reckless and ridiculous. But Mimosa fell silent as a man suddenly appeared before her. She no longer dared to shout. A tall, red-haired man stood ahead. His deep voice rumbled, what's wrong? Mimosa trembled with fear as Professor Elijah appeared. Smiled, hello professor, I'd like to discuss my career with you. Professor Elijah blinked in surprise. Then he said, come to my office. Mimosa quickly declined, I have a private meeting with my advisor. Elijah nodded, I understand, go ahead. Mimosa stormed off in frustration, while narrowly avoided disaster. Elijah urged, Wu, let's go. Answered promptly, yes, teacher. On her way to the office, she swiftly refreshed Elijah's profile. Age 30, height 194 centimeters, born January 21. He loves science, books, and research, hates noise, carelessness, and restraint. Maybe found Elijah's empty scale preferable to his black heart, but he still watched Elijah's feelings closely. In no time, they reached Elijah's office, where he held the door open and welcomed inside. Constellation Noble of the Night Fire gifted 1,000 to the dazzling clown streamer. Why does this professor despise restraint? Fell silent thinking, what is wrong with this person? In God's game, heavenly people are just angels, among many divine beings including angels and demons. Plus chaotic beasts roam these lands. Once separate and untouched, the dimensions collided after a catastrophic accident. Elijah, entangled in the accident, is known by another name, the Great Demon. His fate is sealed in tragedy. Humanity's world in ruins. Elijah is a mighty angel. He is a mighty archangel, ruler of the heavens, yet the angels killed Elijah's twin brothers. Exiled to the demon world, Elijah fell and forged a new name upon his soul. He is known as the Great Demon, a being who is both angel and demon. But now he's gone silent. Steadied herself. Elijah's goal is to destroy the heavens and all other species, but first he must overthrow humanity, the crucial link in his path. But now they no longer hate me. As she stayed silent, Elijah finally spoke, Squire. I hate wasting time. She recognized her mistake and immediately apologized, saying, I'm sorry, you're right about career counseling. She stammered, scrambling for an excuse. Some sections in the textbook still confuse me. Suddenly she began flipping through the textbook, searching for something. Spotting it, Elijah remarked, that's a year 2 textbook. How much do you really know? Prompted by Elijah stared back in confusion. She quickly flipped the page and pointed to a spot in the book. Elemental magic harnesses the powers of fire, water, earth, and air. These 4 types are common, but why are white magic and black magic off limits? Though lost in the ancient magic kingdom, they could still be used. Constellation, sorry I'm not a liberal arts expert, gifted 1,000 and asked, Elijah, can you explain the magic? Elijah stared at her, confused, then called her name again. Squire on that subject. Was blocked from the year 3 program because she's now a year 4 student. Doubted she could graduate, but Elijah gently asked, "Do you understand everything so far? Let me ask you, how do you deploy magic?" Though caught off guard, draws on an author's memory and answers confidently. The magic seal connects to the circuit, forming a magic formula, an answer but not the full solution. Explained, when mana enters the formula, it transforms into magic. Casting magic is like coding a game, that's what makes it so fascinating. Elijah left the answer unspoken. He pressed on with one final question, "Why did you really come to see me?" Played along, but deep down he knew the counseling was just a pretense. She admitted, "I was in trouble and hoped seeing you would help me escape." Elijah shot back, "So you used me as a shield." Guilt-stricken, stayed silent as I entered the great demon's laboratory. As she hesitated, the system flashed intriguing information before her eyes. Its affection just turned into a red heart. Now things are getting complicated. Elijah handed a stack of books. "If you have questions, come find me," he said. "Consider this your consequence for rudeness." Hesitantly accepted, not daring to refuse. Hugged the books and walked out of Elijah's room. "I just stopped by. Why is my affection for Elijah suddenly growing? I don't remember ever feeling this way." Suddenly, someone emerged from behind and called out to Miss. "It's been a while." Clyde is finally reunited. The three girls rush over with joy. Eyes darted, silver butterfly brooch, sapphire stones, club members. The girls said too, "I missed you over the holiday. Want to see my new Clyde portrait card?" "Did you come with your sister today?" "She's pretty, though not as stunning as you, miss." Smiled and said, "Take good care of my sister." Beneath her friendly facade, knows each member of the male lead fan club is a rival out to torment Libby, but as president, she's the only one who can stop them. Mimosa is the problem. "Can we disband the club?" As pondered, the pink-haired girl spotted the stack of books and asked, "Miss, what's that in your hand?" She replied calmly, "Oh, these, just the books I'll finish today." The girls stared at her in disbelief. Did Professor Elijah threaten Miss into reading? Forced a smile, hiding her frustration. "Just go ahead and insult me then." The pink-haired girl exclaimed, "As expected of Miss, you really do know everything." "You know what? He's at the library right now, Mr. Clyde," the girl replied. As confusion deepened, she was completely in the dark. The girls said, "You even brought books to fake reading, I'm impressed." This time couldn't avoid smiling, asked, "Can you tell me which library he's in?" Constellation romantic lover was deeply moved. "You were about to win the male lead's heart." The girl responded instantly, witnessing the transformation of the Valhalla library. More books filled this place than even the Duke's Grand Library. As set the books down, footsteps echoed. Her gaze snapped in that direction. It was Clyde. Constellation superpowered scholar recognizer, gifted 1,000 sous. With platinum hair and the face of a genius, this boy was Clyde Willow. At last Clyde Willow found. She swiftly purchased Clyde's personal info. What she found instantly shocked her. Beyond the basics, his affection for her burned as fiercely as two black hearts. Cried out, "Two black hearts." Was puzzled as the Constellations intervened once more. Detective Constellation gifted 1,000 sous and uncovered a new clue. All the male leads share the same birthday, January 31st. Explained, the game's story branches and concludes on January 31. If the male lead's affection is maxed out, he invites Libby to his birthday. The ending depends on whose invitation she accepts. Clyde dragged a chair over and sat down with icy composure. His gaze stayed locked on him. He sat a few tables away, directly opposite. Constellation romantic lover urges you to face the male lead, leaving baffled and wondering, why is Clyde even in the library? Valhalla Magic Academy is ruled by the Willow family, with Clyde's grandfather, Duke Willow, as its principal. When Clyde's father, Willow, died consumed by madness, Duke Willow declared him the heir. The collateral nobles claim madness as an excuse, but once Clyde graduates, they'll have no grounds to question his worth. They're just waiting for the perfect moment to bring him down. Clyde just needs to survive this year, that's why he hides in the library. Approaching him only sparks more hostility. Clyde settled in, chin resting on his hand, eyes glued to his book. But soon he felt eyes constantly tracking his every move. Yet still he revealed nothing. Beneath the setting sun, the two sat side by side, lost in their books. Studied hard, I need to find the next chapter. Elemental magic is the toughest specialization, and that's exactly what makes it so fascinating. Was absorbed in the book when Clyde suddenly appeared and remarked, "Interesting, Squire. You even came to the library, didn't you used to avoid this place?" Hesitated, realizing that with always around, Libby would never win his heart. Searching for an excuse, he simply said, "I just thought I'd focus on studying this year." Clyde slammed his hand down, snapped his book shut, and sneered, "What a ridiculous excuse. Why don't you just shut up? Listening to your nonsense is giving me a headache." Forced an awkward smile, this guy's words cut deep. Maybe it's karma, even if despised him inside, she still had to pretend to smile. "I'm sorry." Clyde pressed on, taunting, "If you're truly sorry, just drop out." His words ignited fury, revealing the true colors of a pampered chaebol heir. Constellation explanation lover gifted 1,000 so in this school setting. Getting expelled or dropping out would be a huge loss. If that happened, it would mean death and punishment. Armed with that knowledge, Wu instantly refused. It was too difficult. "I'll keep my distance from now on," she said earnestly. After all, leaving school meant losing the game, just as the Constellation warned. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his lips. But a moment later he burst into laughter. But you chose the dorm right by my place. Was stunned she hadn't known that either. He went on, honestly, I've never met anyone as reckless, selfish, or greedy as you. With every word grew more uneasy. His relentless insults toward left her utterly speechless. Despite everything, Clyde pressed on. I don't get why you still like me after I've made my rejection so clear. Constellation romantic novel lover sent 1000. Don't just say you don't like him anymore. That's too predictable. The moment the idea was suggested, instantly agreed, knowing his unrequited love had led to her death. To survive, resolved to confess she no longer had feelings for him. She hesitated, then admitted, this is hard to explain. He just laughed, of course it is. In a gentle voice, admitted, liking you just feels natural to me. What? Clyde couldn't believe his ears. Paused, reminding herself, I built this world, crafted every main character with care. How could I ever hate someone I poured my heart into? That's why every word she spoke next was genuine. I like you, it's fate. Her roundabout confession left Clyde stunned. Fate, she really likes me. Her words echoed just like the old, she always used to say that. But this time his reaction was dead serious. Replied with a different answer. She yelled, I don't like you anymore. The constellation suddenly chimed in with comments. A backseat gamer gifted 1000, questioning the announcement, why reveal it now, but knew she couldn't hide her feelings any longer, making this the right choice. With genuine sincerity she added, that doesn't mean I hate you, let's just keep our distance and get along. Clyde was left speechless. He turned and silently walked out of the library. His unease returned at his reaction. Leaving without a word made it even stranger. The constellation leapt up again. Why not just lie? Shot back. No point. Clyde sees through everything. Once Clyde left the library, he snapped. Chains tightened around him, his emotions in turmoil. How could betray him? I've never witnessed emotions this raw. Every I love you made me sick to my stomach. It's as if her soul has transformed. Noble emotions are sweetly intoxicating, and if the soul surrenders to fate, it will follow. Clyde yelled at the soul within him, quiet. Wu's image replayed over and over in Clyde's mind. The soul called out, Clyde. Half demon, half human, a true hybrid. Why did you do that? Don't tell me you still believe you're human. Born of a succubus, demon blood runs through your veins. Humans will never accept you. A portal tore open and Clyde extended his hand. He pulled out a fan from inside. The fan glowed in Clyde's clenched fist. The light kept shining. His power surged, growing stronger every moment. The soul cried out, oh no, are you rejecting yourself again? Bathed in moonlight, Clyde stood alone in the room. His mood was volatile. Seeing heads to the dormitory, which also has a private residence on the second floor. Despite being the author, is seeing the dormitory's design for the first time. She eased the door open and walked in. The Clyde fan club called it a downgrade, but I think it's just right. She stepped in, glancing around. Sometimes all she wanted was a simple meal. Spotted a note on the table. Miss, I brought you a sandwich since you skipped dinner. Wu hurried to the bedroom, set the books on the table, and collapsed onto the bed. I'm exhausted. If today ends quietly, that would be perfect. She sat up, ready to eat and dive into her books. But just then, channel manager appeared. Did you have a good trip? He appeared out of nowhere, throwing off guard. Miss, what's this? He snatched the sandwich from her grasp. He finished and instantly tossed the sandwich to the floor. He suggested, why not enjoy a hearty meal? She'd fainted from skipping a meal, but hardly surprised, was already used to these sudden episodes. She said, so you're turning on the ads today, right? He kissed her hand and said, thanks to Miss Efforts, interview requests are pouring in. One kiss, and his clothes instantly transformed into a more seductive outfit. A moment later, she found herself at a lavish banquet, face-to-face with the channel manager. He gestured courteously, inviting, please have a seat. Eyed him warily, want to eat together. The followers won't like this dull part, protested, shaking his head. He snapped his fingers, and a torrent of notifications crashed into her mind. The chat erupted the moment he appeared. A is here, things just got interesting, that face alone is worth it, I'll donate more if he shows up often. These comments only fueled complacency, they clearly enjoy when I just show up on the broadcast. His fans are losing their minds over him. Just like those club members, even if they don't care themselves. Pressed on, you should know this by now. The gift window is now hidden. Do you think there are more soothed than gifts permitted? Instantly realized why his account numbers were always unusually high. Not just gifts given while I'm asleep or unconscious. She now has 151,500. Poured more wine and kept talking, but I found it beneath me, I didn't like it. Sharing a meal during an interview isn't so bad. Eyed him, silently wondering, does he really think he's on Hera's level? Explained the interview process, assuring her that followers would receive clear guidelines and updates before joining the broadcast, making everything easy to understand. Must share just enough truth at the perfect moment, reveal too much and the fun disappears. Followers only know the basics of the God's game. They're unaware of the main character's true identities or how it all ends. With that finished, so given what he said, can you explain today's situation? The broadcast has begun. Begins her work unaware that Professor Elijah, a fallen angel turned demon in human form, plots to transform the world into a second hell. The human world links heaven and the demon realm, acting as a crossroads, one that risks becoming a gateway to darkness. It means transforming every place into a demon's hell. If he's the great demon, does that make him the demon king? Asked intrigued, if that exists, the human world won't last long. Team anticipates this challenge and enforces a restriction to streamline the entire game. Quickly replies to, humans can't live underwater, fish can't survive on land, you don't belong to either world. Professor Elijah is no different. He uses the human body as his oxygen tank due to the restriction. Lesser demons forge pacts with humans but face strict limits. As answered the interview, watched her intently. His brow furrowed as she noticed seated across from her. Shifted uneasily. What? Shrugged. Nothing, it's just reverse harem worlds are usually so intense. Blushed at the question. She dodged the question and said, God's game is an RPG, of course it is. Though she never meant to build such a vast world, smiled at Wu's sweet expression and said, alright, let's get to the point. Today, miss, she encountered 3 leading men. Between the 3, who's your favorite? Which male lead is your type? Replied instantly, none of them. Paused deep in thought. Studied his face, questioning if her reply was too reckless for a romantic broadcast. Chose to answer, revealing there's an unseen character who perfectly matches their type. Professor Slab is a living garden, and his bond with animals and humans is unmatched. The Emperor hasn't appeared, but all 3 male leads I met today are impressive. Finally smiled, satisfied with the answer. Quickly replied, it's a bit hard to adapt since it feels unrealistic, but my team created all these characters and I love them all. This time she finally told him the truth, and the tension was palpable. Hearing that, instantly thought, that's a typical response. Glanced at him anxiously, refusing to share her thoughts on fiction. Here's what truly happened, this man is like a merciless god to us. Someone even more dangerous than today's male lead, one reality that could strike her at any moment. He's already hurt her now, no matter what she says, finds it absurd. Fueled by that thought, fought back. So this is your first time tackling a romance broadcast, right? What's on your mind? She shot back. Paused, stroking his chin in surprise at his BJ's question. Didn't expect a response, but to her surprise he answered. Approached and said, I don't think I've ever witnessed anything romantic. However, I expected it to be dull. It's fresh and captivating. Romance still isn't my thing. His hand brushed her hair, then rested on his chair. Because you are what's new and fascinating to me. I might just become a fan of Miss. Saw right through him, his fake expressions were just for show, performed only because the constellations were watching. Snapped his fingers and declared, your audience isn't human, you'll need something even more stimulating to catch their attention. Darted behind. He marked her shoulder with his name and led her into the mission. This time the mission, join the student council, succeed for 100,000 Su, fail and go back to school. Wu froze for 2 seconds after reading the mission, then vowed to dodge Clyde and head to school if she failed. Smirked, nothing's more thrilling than watching BJ struggle in a strange world, I told you. Desperate for love. Your desperate need for affection will make this broadcast a hit. Words infuriated, so, being a clown desperate for Sue's attention is what you call love. At last, snapped, do you even know what love is? He offered a gentle smile. What you want most, right? Isn't that why I set the stage for you? Now, unlike her lonely past, she finally has everything she needs to be truly loved in return. The answer cut through his heart like a knife. She let out a weary sigh. He sees the constellation's gifts to Sue as the love she desperately seeks from her family, all because she once asked him about love. The clock struck 2. The bell drew all eyes to. He quickly declared, I'm afraid we have to end the interview here. He leaned in and kissed goodbye. But she turned away. Looked disappointed, are goodbye kisses unusual in your culture? Stayed silent, her answer was clear. Though dodged the question, pressed her just like Miss Wood. How dare you ignore my farewell, must I really honor your customs? He yanked back. He kissed her cheek. Good luck, miss. He vanished after that farewell kiss as if nothing ever happened. Wept at the sheer cruelty, there was no trace of humanity left. She gently retrieved the sandwich he'd tossed to the ground. I could have used magic to clean them. Right now she felt trapped and suffocated like a caged puppy. The first day is already over. By the next morning, fretted, at the Duke's mansion she changed outfits twice a day. Wu considered school uniforms barbaric but secretly admired this girl. Despite her family's fall, she remained a noble lady, owning 10 different uniforms. Softly said, I like this, jumped in, but the brooch really matches the dress. Was caught off guard by the word. It's a symbol of Clyde's future bride, she always wears it at school. Can't wear it at home, her father would just take it off. Now with gone she refuses outright, put it away, I'm done wearing it. The student council boasts both Clyde and president. Joining earns a 100,000 Su reward, failure means mandatory school. Once led CDTLCC with ease, but everything's changed. Jaguar must win them both over to succeed. Zing transfers to Valhalla School. Arrived at school just like any other day. She walked on, engrossed in the books teacher Elijah gave her, determined to ignite the greatest fire within the water. She paused, thinking Elijah wouldn't kill me just for skimming the book, even if he is the great demon. Suddenly collided with the person ahead. It was, and instantly the comments erupted. Constellation romantic love adored this detail, while Constellation hates romance despised it. Stammered, sorry I was lost in my book and didn't see you, as he bumped into him again. Offered a soft smile, no I should been more careful. Felt a twinge of guilt for blaming, after all she was the one who bumped into him, but could handle it, he was a mage from the Assassin Guild. By day he's the vice president, by night an assassin. Double life was greatest creation, but now that she's entered the game it could be her death sentence. Smiled and asked, are you alright? Answered, I'm fine bud. Your forehead's red, said, reaching out to touch her. His actions triggered memories of tonight's nightmare, why must I change for you? She quickly stepped back, dodging the hand reaching for her. His outburst jolted. Wu stammered, don't worry about me. She hurriedly made an excuse and dashed off. You're heading to the main building, right? Let's go. Stared at, bewildered. He looked up and asked, and do you like coffee? Led into his office beaming as he announced, welcome to my office. Looked around, admiring the beauty and cleanliness. Did he set this up himself? Smiled, your words filling him with joy. Constellation Detective gifted 1,000, but I found no trace of humans, only eerily arranged items heightening the unnatural atmosphere. Watched in silence, sensing this place was built for secrets, a mirror of its visitor. Saw through's fake kindness toward his assassin's mask was all too transparent. This event happens only when one of his hearts is filled, wondered could his feelings be changing. She swiftly summoned the status window, her affection had risen to 2 black hearts. Froze in shock, yesterday there was only 1 black heart, but now there are 2. Though didn't truly like her, he still pretended to be friendly. Come to think of it, this is your first time here, isn't it? Gave an awkward smile. Who knows, I don't notice those things, even without his invitation would barged in anyway. Poured coffee, turning to Wu, really, oh that's right. Did you come to the auditorium yesterday to congratulate your sister on winning first place? Sharp mind kicked in instantly, knew would never congratulate anyone's success. He wanted to gauge her feelings about Libby. Gave the perfect answer as planned, and whether I acknowledge it or not, her high score still stands. Pulled up a chair, sat across from Wu and continued, but your sister seemed a bit disappointed. Replied instantly, don't worry about my future. Skipping graduation might matter more than celebrating my sister. In Valhalla, a low score meant expulsion. Fail to defeat a demon and you're out. Asked frankly, you know my score right, her witty reply left laughing awkwardly. He sipped his coffee and said, you're in your 4th year, time to start worrying. As spoke, slipped some ice into the steaming coffee with a flick of magic. Ice cubes clinked into the coffee, melting slowly as she ignored his gaze. He exclaimed, you drink iced coffee. Simply smiled and said, it tastes better this way. Leaned in, intrigued, is this the latest high society trend? Shook her head, no it's just my preference, people talk if you drink that at gatherings. Suddenly remembered, always has high society connections. Did he just insult me with a smile? Constellation romantic lover gifted 1,000 su. Just mocked the breach of etiquette. Despite being a commoner, his refined speech rivals that of the elite. Calmly remarked, you really drink it like that, even though it's not trendy. Ignoring his words, Wu added more ice, sparking cheers from the constellations as Cinderpaw gifted 1,000 mock all you want. If you don't get it, just forget it. Her actions left stunned. Sipped nervously, embarrassed by her surprise, yet despite 2 night hearts she was still alive. Our top priority is to get out of here now. Mimosa could storm in any minute and catch me having coffee with. The game's difficulty will spike dramatically. She drained her drink and sprang to her feet. The coffee is delicious, as she suddenly stands as stunned you're leaving. Smiled and said, I need to finish this book before class, secretly avoiding Mimosa. Why does she feel like a guilty cheater? It's so strange. Stood up and said, let's go together, I have class too. As they turned to go, Mimosa's clear voice called out, are you in there? Stared out the door in panic, Mimosa isn't supposed to be here yet, why has she arrived so early? Constellation deadly question mark gifted 1,000 SU, is this a horror show? Constellation crazy person who loves drama gifted 1,000 SU, this is love, this is war. It's been ages since I've seen something burn with such intensity. At the sound of Mimosa's voice, Wa quickly scanned the area. Desperate for cover, her eyes darted, searching for a hiding spot. She spotted a towering cabinet. Instantly seized his hand and yanked him forward. Froze, what are you doing? Shouted, panicked, no time to explain, just run. With no response from inside, Mimosa opened the door herself. I'm coming in. She stepped inside, glancing around, was I mistaken or did I really hear someone? I even packed a lunch, where did he disappear to? After dragging into the cabinet, froze, he didn't need to hide. I panicked and acted without thinking. Mimosa noticed 2 cups of coffee outside. When realized this, unease churned inside her. If I'm caught now, it's over for both me and Mimosa. Starting a war between 2 clubs isn't enough for her, she might even hire an assassin. Worried, kept glancing outside. Pulled her close, stay still or they'll find you. His sudden embrace around her waist startled. Smile came effortlessly. Constellation Goo Romantic sent 1,000 su. The chatter-ups grins, good thing I'm the only one who can hear those gift alerts. At least I haven't been caught yet. Mimosa grabbed her coffee and gasped in shock. Lipstick stains marred the cup he shared with her over coffee. Worry crept back into she needed to wipe her lips as soon as she left. Mimosa fumed outside, furious at whichever bold noblewoman dared seduce their innocent. So you're not afraid? Let's see how brave you are when you're caught. I'll make sure you're expelled. Mimosa stormed out in anger. The cabinet door slowly creaked open. Stumbled out grumbling, scaring me half to death. Staggered caught her. Are you okay? Thanks. Spotting her advised, if you want to hide, that's not the best place. Expert advice, you'll be found in no time. Constellation plotter gifted 1000 SU. What a mysterious move. Laughed and asked, so where's the best hiding spot? Next time I'll use it. Though her words meant nothing, wondered, would she come to his place again? His voice turned serious. I need to ask, do you still hate me? Shot back, I don't hate you, you're the one who hates me. What's your opinion of me? You're just a friend to me. Did you react that way, Mimosa, because you felt caught cheating? Guilt resurfaces. If Mimosa misunderstands, things could get serious, and he shares her feelings. Paused, then said, are we really friends if we have to keep meeting in secret like this? Pauses, then gently touches face. That's why. You asked me for shelter. I'm just glad we're finally on the same side. I like you. I've always wanted to be your friend. Constellation Goo romantic just sent 1000 Su. Now hurry up and kiss. Charlie pushed his hand away, her confused eyes flickering. Is that so? But your gestures say otherwise. Just smiled and teased, you've still got lipstick here. Better not let Mimosa see. Though tried to change the subject, held firm. With a gentle voice she said, friends don't touch like that, only people in a relationship do. Hearing this for the first time, naively replied, really unaware that others had hidden motives. As turned to arrange the books, she explained, it's because they like you. Still, your gestures were a bit much for me. Constellation Duke Wolf humorous gifted 1000 SU, yet wonders why this streamer stays so reserved. Want to show you how to win a man's heart. Channel manager bans Duke Wolf humorous, just reads annoyed. I'm conservative, so bold gestures don't surprise me. Noticing his discomfort, apologized, I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. She nodded subtly, don't overdo it, keep it in check so no one gets the wrong idea. Finishes speaking, then turns to leave. See you later, goodbye. As she walked away, lowered his glasses, baffled by her. This makes no sense, it's unbearable. His whole personality has changed, she's no longer the clueless girl she once was. But she's not clueless. I almost let her speak, until she grabbed my coat and started acting bizarre. She's even clumsier. As pondered, a small pigeon perched on the windowsill. Swiftly grabbed the bird, had the guild sent it. A letter arrived. Opened it and read. Identify Libby Squire's magic attributes and report on any other nobles discovered. Remember, didn't Libby Squire say she once lived in the slums? Unlike the noblest of nobles, he expected her to be arrogant, but though he saw that day, after a moment's thought began to write. We need surveillance on the Squire family. One glance reveals the sister wields white magic. Though the guild nearly gave up searching for white mages, hasn't found one nor used her as bait. That's a baseless idea, is utterly clueless. But lately her emotions have begun to show. Her once stereotyped behavior is slowly changing. Thinking that way, chose not to report her. He set the bird free. Since has changed, I'll personally watch over her. The black heart of indifference has turned red with affection. Singh returns to the lecture hall. Trudged on, dreading Professor Elijah's class after lunch. I still hadn't finished all the reading. Just then walked by the school's notice board. The notice invites new members to Clyde's Future Bride Club, devoted to Clyde, dreaming of becoming his wife and seeking love within proper bounds. Join now or pick up an application for the fan club. Only 3 clubs are listed, but 2 dominate the board with their fiercely competitive ads. Spotted the student council membership form and decided to apply. The constellations questioned why anyone would join such perilous groups and explained. In Valhalla, the student council is led by the top student. The president and vice president are like a legion of magic knights. The student council leads monster hunts and is always the first called when demons strike. Its death rate is higher than other schools, yet the elites still compete to get in. Joining and then leaving the student council is your quickest route to success. After graduation, the Willow family still shields us, and the Emperor himself summons us to the royal palace to award our medals. But none of that matters to the Willow family is Squire's enemy, and her title is already set. Though she dreaded opening death's door, battling monsters was better than wandering aimlessly. Was about to join the student council when suddenly, someone called out her name, Squire. Professor Elijah approached and asked, thinking of joining the student council. Wa jolted at the sight of him, stumbling back. She forced a smile and said, hello, my heart nearly stopped. Why did we have to meet now before I finished the book? Elijah remained composed and advised, read the last part after finishing the first 2 chapters. A bit puzzled, confessed, I only started the first 2 parts. Did he really expect me to finish all 3 before writing? Elijah pressed, did you finish reading? She hesitated, then admitted, yes, but the last book is so hard. Constellation Detective gifted 1000. What is the great demon planning? Honestly, I'm terrified. Determined to dodge a scolding, tried to finish reading during lunch, sandwich in hand. Sorry, but I won't finish reading it before class. Elijah didn't scold her. Instead, he gently said, I never asked you to finish reading it before class. Wu stared at him in silent surprise. Noticing her exhaustion, Elijah asked with concern, "Did you get any sleep?" Flinched, questioning her own exhaustion. When she quietly admitted just a little, he stayed silent, yet his gaze spoke volumes. Moments later, Elijah led into his office. Though clueless, trailed Elijah, wondering what he would do next. Elijah silently approached the chair, making it clear he wanted her to sit. Yesterday was one thing, but why did he summon me to the office today? Sat in silence, studying Elijah intently. For a split second, Elijah smiled and noticed. Am I seeing things? Elijah isn't smiling or saying a word. Breaking the silence, asks, so why did you call me here? I'll be back before class starts. Wait here until then, Elijah said. Before could react, Elijah was gone, leaving me alone in the office. Constellation gifted 1000 SU. Could this be the road to captivity? Constellation Gourmet also gifted 1000 SU, a perfect feast for a love story starring a brilliant young professor. As she read those cheesy comments, thought, there's no way Elijah likes me unless he's lost his mind. Curiously, the constellations wonder what the streamer is thinking. Can enter Elijah's office only after earning enough of his affection. She couldn't help but wonder, when exactly did I impress him? Constellation Detective gifted 1000 perhaps as a reward for her hard work. Woo, ever the professor knows good grades earn points with Elijah, and a little favor from a great demon isn't the worst thing. Let's finish the final book. Suddenly Elijah's door swung open. No one knew how much time had passed. Footsteps echoed sharply. Clyde entered, spotted asleep in the chair, and froze. What has Squire done? He glanced around. No one could really be behind the student council application Professor Elijah mentioned. Clyde's eyes burned with hatred as he stared at her. Nothing is impossible. Is the world's epitome of greed and selfishness. The student council leads monster hunts and slays demons. Avoids danger at all costs, sacrifices her greatest fear. Clyde glanced her way again. He spotted a year 3 magic textbook beside. She should finish that class last year. Is she cramming now just to graduate? Incredible. After declaring her love like it was fate just yesterday, she now naps in the professor's office as if nothing happened. Love me blindly as fate commands, a foolish human driven mad by my mask, never glimpsing the real me. If royal blood ran in her veins, she would sense my threat just like a mimosa. Could she still claim to love me if I were her fate? Can you love someone more ruthless than a demon? Don't make me laugh. Clyde called her disgusting and walked away, but notably his feelings have shifted, the black hearts are gone. No telling how much time had passed when finally awoke. She cracked one eye open. Elijah sat right in front of her. Barely woke up. Don't tell me I overslept again. Noticing her dazed, Elijah broke the silence. You're awake. Here's your form. Student council application. He added, if you want to join, just fill it out and hand it to me. Wu suddenly said, thank you, teacher. Elijah rose and said, let's head to the lecture hall. Elijah moved forward. Even his struggled to keep up behind him. He strides ahead, dragging me along like a dog on a leash. Moments later, they entered the classroom. Entered the empty room, sparking a sudden memory. Few students attend Elijah's elemental magic class. It's not a combat major, so it lacks popularity. Mages fall into combat and non-combat groups, but those who excel in combat become national heroes, making the combat block the most sought after. Elijah's major isn't just non-combat, it's obscure and often overlooked. Its very challenge is what gives it such powerful advantages. Mages who master elemental magic wield any power with lightning speed. Just look at Elijah and Clyde. Familiar footsteps and voices echoed once more. Sorry I'm late. Instantly recognized the voice. Only took this class to be near Clyde. Clyde caught sight of. He walked over and sat beside her. Stared at him in confusion. Why was he sitting beside her? I swore I'd ignore him, but he's impossible to resist. What's gotten into him? Has the level shifted? Clyde sudden left bewildered. Once hit 0 black hearts, but now it's risen to 3. She jolted as he spun around. Clyde fixed with an intense stare. Glanced away, bewildered. She warned herself 3 black hearts don't mean instant death, but it's when death's door begins to open. Now I must join the student council. I must lower Clyde's black hearts. It's my only chance to avoid being sent back to the Duke's mansion. As she studied, Clyde's future bride club secretly watched him from outside the lecture hall, captivated by how radiant he looked today. He blinds me just by being there. Hearing the whispers, instantly realized this might be why Clyde's black hearts have grown. Disbanding Clyde's fan club would slightly lower the heart count. If that's true, she'd have to take down Mimosa's fan club as well otherwise, or Clyde would just rack up more black hearts. The game will spiral toward a bad ending, and the chances of evil emerging will rise. Pushed aside his worries and turned his attention back to class. Glanced up at the podium and locked eyes with Professor Elijah. Caught staring at her, Elijah quickly turned away and said, let's begin the class. Blinked in shock. Was he really looking at me? Maybe I'm imagining it, but for once it feels like someone in this world doesn't completely hate me. I feel a bit more at ease. After what felt like ages, class finally ended. Exhausted, slumped over the table with a sigh. Professor Elijah's relentless pace was more torture than teaching. He never understood why anyone struggled to keep up. Meanwhile, Clyde also. glanced at him in secret, determined to ignore Clyde until she learned how to raise and avoid trouble. Suddenly, 3 young ladies rushed over calling, "You're finally out, that class was torture, wasn't it?" Startled, looked around, thankfully Elijah was gone. Could only smile, these girls hadn't even attended the class. Suddenly a girl appeared and called out to, "Are you interested? We're not hanging out today." Instantly knew this was Lady Romeo, the one who forged a pact with the demon Romeo, a villain her own team once created. To most, she's insignificant, but to right now she's a ticking time bomb. If one simple condition is met, Lady Romeo can instantly summon a demon. Yet timidly she stepped forward and asked Clyde, "And I just want to see you two together." Stayed silent, recalling the one condition to summon a demon Clyde must not end up with. If Clyde gets too close to another girl or pulls away from, a demon will appear. Haunted by guilt, wondered, how did my team agree to such nonsense? Eager to escape, she quickly excused herself. "I'll just say I need to talk to Professor Elijah." The moment the words faded, Clyde appeared and snapped, "Move." The 3 club girls were instantly captivated by his striking looks. "You look sharp as ever, Clyde, no wonders friends keep crowding you. Can't you all give him some space?" Stood frozen, president or not, this was beyond embarrassing, I should just run. She dashed off, her assignment was due today, and with Professor Elijah about to leave, she had to go first. Her actions caught Clyde's eye, his gaze tinged with displeasure. The constellation of romance has spawned 1,000 Sue's love born from hate. I'm team all the way. Felt sick reading it, how absurd. Meanwhile, the constellation of facial recognition has crafted 1,000 Sue's, but when it comes to looks, no one beats Clyde. Every constellation wonders, where is BJ headed? She answered, heading to the first floor library. It's the perfect spot to avoid other students, and one of the few places Clyde never goes. As headed to the library, a scandal erupted. Mimosa's voice cut through the crowd. "She's losing it with that other girl you snuck into this room this morning, right?" She insisted. "I've told you 4 times I didn't do it." Mimosa refused to believe her, shouting, "Don't lie, there's still lipstick on the coffee cup. That's the brand new limited edition Jean Atelier, and it matches your lipstick perfectly." Libby challenged Mimosa with logic. "Limited edition doesn't mean there's only one." But Mimosa stood her ground, "There are only 10, okay?" Overheard the argument nearby and worried, should I bring my makeup back to the dorm? Why did Libby use my lipstick shade today? Now Mimosa's suspicious. This is my fault, so I need to fix it. Stepped forward and revealed the limited edition. "I've got one too, Mimosa." Libby's face lit up the moment she spotted her sister. Mimosa asked, "So you're here to protect your sister now?" "I get it now. You let your sister approach on purpose," listening to her panic as secretly observed. "The original wasn't even that clever. Reacting to pointless anger will only exhaust me." Ignored her, stepped forward and pulled Libby away. "We need to go now." Suddenly assigned a mission, get an apology from Mimosa. The reward was a mystery, but failure meant expulsion if Mimosa retaliated. Felt powerless, everything here was just another mission. Why don't they just show the rewards? I have no interest in this pointless squabble. Forced by her mission, summoned Mimosa, masking her true feelings with an innocent smile. "You're really good at blaming the wrong person," she said, compelling Mimosa to apologize. Whispers filled the air, another showdown between the and Clyde presidents, or is the new student rep being bullied? Thought, I need to end this before the Clyde fan club shows up. I ran to escape, but if both sides arrive, it's all for nothing. I hate this, but there's no other choice. Then spoke firmly, "Can you swear on your honor that Libby entered lab?" Mimosa blurted out, "Yes, I'll risk it all." Proposed a bet, if today's visitor to this room wasn't Libby, you must write an apology letter and post it on the bulletin board. Mimosa snapped, "A bet, what are you saying?" Unlike Mimosa, remained calm and said, "If you're not confident, apologize to my sister now." Her words struck Mimosa's pride, she instantly shouted, "Okay." With a clever trick, lured Mimosa in. The constellation begins typing. The professional consultant donates 1,000, only betting when victory is certain. The Cinder Pass constellation donates 1,000, a secret is unlocked. Right after luring Mimosa, confessed with a smile, "I was the one who entered lab today." Mimosa couldn't believe she had shouted that. "Why are you lying? Why were you in this room?" With calm clarity asked, "Mimosa, do you remember when you first found the coffee cup?" "Around 9:30, since I left the carriage before then," Mimosa replied. Turned to Libby and asked, "What time did you get here? Around 10. Quickly at yes, that's the exact arrival time set for Libby. The constellations erupted in applause as students outside whispered, "Wait, the times don't match. Maybe it's just an accusation, we can check the carriage's arrival in the records." Declared, "Let's check it out together." Mimosa finally understood she had lost. Without hesitation, Mimosa confessed her mistake. "I too admit I was wrong, Libby Squire. I apologize for my unfounded suspicion and will post a written apology on the bulletin board." Mission completes, fan club shrinks while Clyde's grows. Sighs in disbelief, this is the reward, no wonder they hit it, how cruel. After apologizing, Mimosa remained and questioned Wu again, this time about, "What were you doing in the lab with?" Instantly replies, "Is honored to serve as Valhalla's vice president. With the Squire family's scholarship, I finally have a reason to meet him alone." Mimosa ignored the answer, "But since you've always despised, why meet him in secret?" The instant she spoke, the event began. "I had chosen West as my own guardian mage. Originally, this was a God's Game event activated by when the player filled 2 of hearts. was a brilliant scholar from the beginning. If not for meddling, he would have become the family's official defender. Furious but powerless Mimosa, royalty in name only, had no say in who would be appointed as her defender. With Mimosa settled, beamed at her sister, "Let's go, Libby." Night fell and was already back in her dorm. A sudden knock echoed at the door, lit a candle, and stepped out alone. Who could be visiting at this hour? Someone at the door startled. "You realize being in the girls' dorm this late breaks school rules, don't you?" It was. Smiled and replied, "I know, that's why I came and why I won't be caught." Could only sigh, "Of course you wouldn't, he's an assassin." Arrived with a single purpose. "I heard what happened today. Did you really choose me as your personal guardian?" Eyes heavy with sleep replied, "It is late, but if you agree, I'll make it official." A commoner gained semi-noble status by serving a powerful family. After answered, fell silent. He smiled and agreed, "I'll be your defender. With the romantic constellation donating 1,000 sous, why not just get married?" Replied calmly, "All right, I'll let my family know." The moment the word ceased, dropped to his knees. He kissed her hand. His actions left confused. He hasn't even been officially appointed yet. Glanced up at Wu and asked, "Why isn't it supposed to be this way?" His look sent a chill down spine. How does an assassin wear such an innocent smile? After reaching his goal, rose as I walked away. "Sleep well." Walked away and watched his back, her mind swirling. Was the warmth in his smile real or just a trick of the lamplight in her imagination? Genius Constellation just donated 1,000 sous. Look at his rating soar. Wu rushed after them. "Something's changed. I need to check there now." The bar appeared and to shock it turned into a single red heart. Just moments ago their heart was pure darkness. This transformation is shockingly swift. This isn't a game, realizes that guy truly exists in this world. Must earn their favor to finish the game, but she avoids emotional ties, planning to escape to paradise after unlocking the hidden ending. A new day dawns and returns to school. She headed straight to Professor Elijah's office. "Here it is, Professor," she said. Elijah looked at her with concern. "Did any questions come up while you worked on it?" Smiled and replied, "Whenever I didn't understand something, I'd find other books in the library to figure it out." Elijah fell silent at her words. He sprang to his feet and dread washed over. Elijah returned to the bookshelf. Selected a different book. Trembling took the book from Elijah. She sighed, thinking, "Don't tell me he's making me read another book. He always does this. I love reading magic books, but being here like this feels overwhelming." Elijah moved closer too. He gently warned, "Don't stay up late." Never expected him to remember her late-night vigil. Though his face was indifferent and his tone unfriendly, a quiet thoughtfulness lingered beneath it all. Smiled, "Yes, Professor." Noticing her reaction, Elijah bluntly asked, "Why are you smiling?" Smiled at Elijah without even realizing it. Her hand softly brushed her cheek. She replied awkwardly, "Because I'm happy." "What makes you happy?" He keeps asking questions, trying to break down her defenses. Paused, then finally replied, "Your care brings me joy." Elijah's face remained unreadable. Flushed with embarrassment, since when did he care about her? After Elijah changed the subject, I quickly submitted my application to the student council. Relieved, I thought, maybe I've finally completed this mission. A week has passed and the student council still hasn't reached out to her. The results should be out by now. Any objections to me joining? I need to take this to the student council. Sprang into action, heading straight for the student council office. She opened the door and glanced around. Was she alone? Just then a familiar voice chimed in. "These days, it feels like anyone, even dogs or cows, can stroll into the student council office. She warned us to keep our distance. Still, we always end up meeting like this." Clyde's arrogant tone grated on nerves, but she forced herself to stay calm. "After all, I made them this way." As a BJ put on a smile and said, "I applied to join the student council last week, but since I haven't heard back, I came here myself." Clyde grabbed an application to join. Perfect timing, the results are in. He's got her application in hand. He set it ablaze without a second thought. Clyde smirked. "As student council president, I officially reject Squire's membership." Sprang into action, casting a swift spell. "O paper that bears my name, heed my call and appear." Her magic worked, the paper didn't burn, and it slipped right out of Clyde's hand. Clyde was stunned. Breaking evil magic should be impossible. But if she finishes the magic seal before Clyde retrieved the paper unharmed? Clyde frowned in disbelief. Clutching the paper, Wu beamed, "I did it." Cheered, "I did it." Rushed to Clyde, beaming, "Look, I restored the application with magic." Her actions fueled Clyde's anger. He clenched his teeth. Realized her mistake and quickly stepped back. Clyde stepped up. "Are you serious? You really think I can't snatch that paper back from you?" Feigned a pitiful look. "Just because I joined the student council doesn't mean I'll be around you. You're so sensitive, I almost didn't join at all." Insisted that if Lady Squire joins the student council, more students will sign up as mercenaries. Libby was the first to join, inspiring the students, but now the mission takes priority. Suddenly applause echoed through the air. A man entered, impressed. Instantly recognized him as Valhalla's principal and Clyde's grandfather. He smiled, surprised that anyone had dared speak to Clyde. "I see you differently now, lady. Meet Duke Noel Willow." Greeted respectfully, "Hello, principal." He approached and said, "Lady's magic is stronger than the records show." Wu was startled and uneasy. Just how long has he been watching? The principal of the Magic Academy is like a ghost. Maybe it was Professor Elijah's recommended magic books, but studied them with intense focus. After a week in the room's intelligence jumped to rank B. The principal proclaimed, "With such talent on the council, my authority will boost everyone's confidence." Lady's entry is approved. The system confirms the student council mission is complete. Reward 100,000 su. Clyde shouted, "Principal, what are you thinking?" He grew impatient and disliked it. Mission accomplished. Vowed, "I swear the student council's reputation is safe with me." The principal smiled, "I'm looking forward to it." The two chatted cheerfully, completely ignoring Clyde. After recruiting Wu, the principal said, "No fighting, get along," then left again. The moment the door slammed shut, Clyde clenched his teeth in frustration. Clyde spat out harsh words. "Your ignorance never ceases to amaze me. I sometimes wonder if you're even human." Was about to ask what ruined his mood until she realized it was her. Clyde wouldn't back down just because the principal smiled and praised her. "Do you really think he likes you?" Clyde's remark sparked outrage in the chat. Who is this guy trash-talking our girl? Naturally knew he was right. The Willow and Squire families are sworn enemies. The principal let join the student council solely to exploit her. Despite Clyde's harsh words, smiled and replied, "You're right. If I were any less clever, I'd never have broken your magic." Deliberately taunted Clyde once more. She anxiously watched his reaction. Winced, realizing she just pushed him too far. Clyde's eyes flashed red. "What exactly are you saying?" "So you break my magic once and suddenly think you matter?" Instantly protested, "No, of course not. I have class, so I'll head out first." As clever as she knows to fall back before her rebellion sparks. Before leaving, she added, "Let's get along from now on." The door shut, leaving Clyde alone. Outside the grand hall, every gaze locked onto. His face darkened. "Why is he trailing me?" The students murmured in surprise. Why is Clyde trailing when it's usually the other way around? Within seconds, all eyes were on. At this pace, he'd catch up, so rushed forward only to collide with once more. Jaguar stumbled back. Certain she'd fall, she never expected two guys would rush to catch her. The chat erupts as multiple male leads appear, drawing the constellation's attention to two people, everyone's shouting for a kiss. Stammered an apology, "I didn't see you." Smiled calmly, "Sorry again, I was careless. Funny, this is our third run-in." Flashed a bright smile, "No, it's fine as long as you're safe. People with red hearts really are angelic." Opposite that angelic side stands the demon Clyde. I asked coldly, "Can you stand now?" Spotted him, spun around, and quickly thanked him for catching her. Clyde remained defiant. "I didn't catch you, I blocked you to keep you from falling in my way, so you owe me an apology, not thanks." His words were arrogant, but if that's what he wants, has no choice but to follow sorry. News traveled fast too. Seizing the moment, he asked, "You joined the student council, that means more achievements and benefits. The scholarship matters after all." Barely finished her sentence before Clyde snatched the application from her hand. "Even if the principal lets you in, you still need to apply." Clyde's behavior unsettled. One moment he's glaring at Clyde, the next warmly chats with "Great news, now we can see each other more often." Skipping out on club activities, risking our lives together should be a victory, but she still had to follow. Has nothing more to say, he quickly makes an excuse to leave as class is about to start. "See you later." Once left, smirked, revealing his true self. The student council vanished, but as she turned back, caught speaking. What could it be? Could only wonder, what did he mean by, "This will be interesting"? Began Elijah's class. "Today we start transformation art. Grab your practice item." Distracted by his words, couldn't focus in class. "He did say this would be interesting, didn't he? What does that even mean?" Elijah handed out items. "Today, transform your flower into a butterfly. First to succeed earns extra credit." A single flower rested in his hand. One by one, the students practiced with their flowers until one suddenly exploded. "Professor, I think something's wrong." Remained motionless, lost in thought, not with the joy of a friend joining, but with clear annoyance. Professor Elijah descended to guide the students. Picture it clearly, without a precise image, no amount of magic will work. Elijah glanced at, catching her expression once more. A touch of magic transformed the flower in his hand into dazzling butterflies. Didn't even notice she'd finished the experiment, lost in thought, unsure of what comes next. "If I sense danger ahead, I need to escape, but it won't be easy." Professor Elijah stepped forward, noticing, "You were dreaming in class, yet turned it into a butterfly on your first try." Explained that just as the professor said, vividly imagining the result led to instant success, so much so he barely realized when it happened. Stunned, Elijah was left speechless. He explained again, "Mages bring images to life, but without a trained imagination, even limitless magic is worthless." Classmates whispered, "Actually did it, she used to hate this place." Professor Elijah lifted his hand and snatched a tiny butterfly. He studied it, then said, "From now on, just give it your all." Excelled in the next classes, earning high praise from professors for her perfectly crafted medicine, while other students managed only dull mouse-gray results. "Flawless today, you're the association room's perfect blossom." Receiving their praise, skillfully replied, crediting the professor's solution for helping him grasp the lesson. The conspirator constellation just donated 1,000. How masterfully she flatters. Leaving class for the library mused, I did it without even trying. If I were skilled at flattery, life as wouldn't have been so tough. The door swung open. Hurried inside, the first-floor library with its private reading rooms offered true comfort. With no one around, finally relaxes. The class went great, so why do I feel so trapped today? Suddenly recalled warning, don't hide in places like this, you'll be found. Startled by her own imagination. Calmed herself she'd be safe here, never visits the first-floor library. Tangled bot struck again, could it be someone else changed a setting I missed? If so, everything I know could be wrong. My actions could rewrite the story. Nowhere I go is truly safe. With just one red heart, how do the male leads act, and what did I do to win their favor? How could I ever believe I belonged here? If I don't act now, I'll end up unloved and alone. I can't breathe, my body's failing me, I have no strength left. I need to get out of here right now. Crushed by pressure, felt herself slipping into an abyss, until a hand reached out. Reappeared, gently guiding her in his arms. I've brought time to a standstill. Stay strong, lady. The tears kept streaming down. Just as exhaustion overwhelmed her, brought her warmth. She wondered, am I safe now? Smile vanished, this isn't fun anymore, he said. He brought to meet someone. Is that your streamer? Cradled Wu in his arms. He nodded, that's right. He swiftly pulled out the equipment and assessed condition. A quick conclusion, just as expected, the classic sign of transmigrating into another body. Despite her struggles and setbacks, she manages to carry on. But I never expected her to freeze time, she could have made the chat way more exciting. Countless BJs succumbed to transmigration's toll, unable to survive its harsh symptoms. Is a record-shattering BJ truly one of a kind? I won't let her fail. Remarked, this BJ looks completely different from the first video. The soul can influence the body's appearance, but such a dramatic transformation is extremely rare. That's why my hopes are high. Replied, the more their look changes, the more excited I get about the BJ, that's a little wicked. Even known for pushing BJs to the limit, called the broadcasting tree brutal, couldn't help but wonder just how harsh it really was. But this BJ's eyes, they're sparkling with something. The moment he reached for her face, pulled her into a quick embrace and swiftly dodged aside. He smiled, but his voice held a warning that crosses the line. No one understood what happened and himself seemed unaware of his actions. He quickly apologized, I'm sorry, I didn't expect this. Even he found himself drawn to, blaming himself, just a human toy for the constellation's amusement. For a moment I was completely captivated. I let my guard down around him, a man so wealthy he could buy gods. If anything goes wrong, he'll kill everyone, even the management, then offer money as an apology. He finished examining Wu and confirmed, the soul's twisting is gone, now fully adapted to the body. The trauma struck without warning, but the transmigration error won't happen again. Grinned with satisfaction, well done, Jane. I've transferred the money, check it, he said and left with. Didn't care about, I took this job for the money, it was too good to pass up, but his attitude just keeps getting worse. Still, I had no choice but to walk away, and now here I am leaving. Led to a new location. Held her close and whispered, those human bugs caught the scent and swarmed, how annoying. Invisible to most, her soul blazes with starlight, its brilliance intensifying with the purity of the constellation's feelings. So beautiful it makes me want to destroy it. Saw her true soul, no wonder was touched by this simple toy. The gentle touch warms beautiful face. He barely breathed as she stirred, her long hair cascading down. Pressed herself against his chest. He looked utterly baffled. He glanced at his watch, it was time to visit the other trees, but next time I'll see you when you're awake. We returned to the Squire family mansion. Its letter landed in Duke's hands. Was present, the Duke revealed, and it appears has chosen West as the guardian mage. Nodded without hesitation, exactly smart choice. He's the Squire family's top mage, and rumored to be the association's next chairman. Despite Duke's worries, I feared his commoner roots would only strain his relationship with further. Without missing a beat, continued, I have another update, lady has joined the student council. Duke lost his composure, shouting, she joined that association because of that damn Clyde. The Willow family leads the student council, a team of elite monster and demon hunters. The Squire family's older daughters joining the student council, even slightly makes Willow outshine Squire. As if recognized, Duke sighed, rubbing his forehead, did really think that, is that the whole report? Quickly added, one more thing, her maids have a request. They called the family tailor, lady's uniform needs altering. Recently she was so absorbed in magic books that she skipped snacks and lost a lot of weight. Duke was stunned, never acted like this. A sudden knock echoed from outside the office door. Libby burst through the door with a grin, Dad, I'm home. He hurried over and asked, Libby, you're home early, is everything alright at school? She grinned, absolutely. The classes are fun and I've already made lots of friends. Duke paused, then asked, is your sister alright? Clyde, whatever his name is, still hasn't vanished. When will she wake up? Libby answered softly, Father, I still know so little about my sister. But deep down, she's truly good. Her decisive words stunned him. She defended its reputation, something even I, her father, never did. Yet oddly, I feel a sense of satisfaction. He listened to Libby and said, okay, if that's how you feel. Before he could finish, burst in and shouted, "She's a terrible person. If you knew what she did to Mom, you'd never call her good." Libby shot back, "Are you saying something you shouldn't?" Answered firmly, "Yes, you've definitely been deceived." Hearing this, Duke flushed with embarrassment and quickly intervened. "Keep acting rude and I won't forgive it." Fuming after her father's scolding, stormed out. Libby quickly called out too, then left the Duke's room herself. Once everyone departed, the Duke confided in, "It's been so long since I last heard the children argue." Lady Libby and young master were always close, he sighed, yet now two dear friends clash over who's not even present. He paused abruptly and commanded, "Prepare the donation fund." "I must reach Valhalla." Hesitated, asking, "Master, is that truly necessary?" Replied, "Emperor, your majesty has always feigned concern over the family's disputes to pressure the Squire family. Let's at least act united for now. Maybe his majesty will feel at ease with the children at this high society party." At Valhalla, every club throws a welcome party for new members, and Clyde's future wife, Wu, is on her way. She bumped into Clyde the demon yet again, sighed, dreading another run-in with her most irritating foe. She decided to steer clear of him before a fight broke out. "I keep running into them in the dorm, should I just move out? Now that I'm rich, I want to buy a mansion near the school and move in, but in this world singles can't live alone." Ignored by, Clyde stormed past her, leaving her startled. "Why is he doing this?" Wondered, "Was he brushing past me on purpose?" Dopamine addict Constellation just donated 1,000 Su. How childish, not wanting to lose, jumped in. "Challenging me, you really think I'll lose?" Raised after him nonstop. Yet she still couldn't reach Clyde. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't catch him. The Constellation mocked, laughing as the so-called simpleton rushed ahead, starting a pointless challenge. Blushed protested, "Who said it's a challenge? I'm just heading to the club party." The door swung open. Every gaze turned that way. The girls rushed over cheering, "You're finally here, this is amazing, all thanks to President." Whispered, "I heard the principal personally chose the best room. Clyde's fan club donated the most after all." But in the end, it was all about favoring his grandson's supporters. With Wu's arrival, the party kicked off, and as tradition demands on this historic day, we can't miss the president's speech. "Let's give it up for," wished he could sink into the ground after that applause. And there's one more issue, Romeo is still missing, often absent because of her health. This might be a blessing for her, given what she's about to say next. Raised her voice, welcoming everyone to Clyde's future bride club and reminding them they must set a higher standard than broken souls. Didn't offer encouragement, but facing enemies drives both sides to grow. To prove we're better than, let's steer clear of anything that could ruin our reputation on campus. This declaration stunned the girls. "From now on, we'll act like proper ladies and stop chasing Clyde, no exceptions." "Wait, are you saying we can't go after Clyde anymore?" "Stopping now would be humiliating." "That rule is essential, it addresses Clyde's discomfort and was made by." With a single statement, everyone agreed, "We fully support this law." Was thrilled, heartborn Constellation sent 1,000, our girl was made for the spotlight. Smiled as no one objected, being in the club didn't mean everyone followed Clyde. As expected, the noble ladies who'd always been uneasy stood up and declared, "We've said our piece, now let's enjoy the desserts and have some fun." As the girls drifted off to enjoy the party, someone turned to and asked, "Do you know what I brought for you today? This rare 30-year-old vintage wine is from your father's collection. If we want him to live long, we should drink it, son." The other girls rushed over excited. "I brought the champagne my grandfather saved for my brother's wedding and the rare wine my grandmother spent 50 years finding." Hearing that, Wu could only smile helplessly. It truly was a gathering of dutiful daughters. Addict Constellation, the romance novel, donated 1,000 Su. The girls, who deeply admired the Empire's leading wine expert, insisted she taste the rare vintage first. Surprised, protested, "Wait, why can't I drink?" But can a single word really rewrite drunken past? Her jokes are hilarious. With no choice left, accepted the glass of wine. But in an instant was drawn in by its aroma. Wine had never tasted so incredible. "She's never tasted wine until now." Took a sip and exclaimed, "Delicious." After assessment, the girls started drinking. "I knew you'd love it. Drink up, let's go all out tonight," and before we knew it, night had fallen. Was completely drunk as the girls were picked up one by one. "Miss, your family is here. Why did you drink so much when you can't handle it? You're always making father worry." While every girl's parents came to pick them up, stood alone until a voice called out, "You're awake. I'll take you back to the dormitory." Couldn't believe it, after all this time, she never expected anyone would come for her. Without hesitation, Wu replied, "It's fine, I'll head back on my own. How drunk are you? My family won't pick me up, I'm leaving now." The moment she finished, Duke called out sharply, "Squire." Wu opened her eyes and looked up. She never imagined the Duke would appear. A sudden hush fell over the room. The Duke gave her an unreadable glance and commanded, "Follow me." Sprang to his feet and hurried after him. Spent the journey questioning why he was here. Never reached Valhalla, the family feud was just a ruse. She hadn't noticed the world had changed, just dismissed it as a glitch. Still, being picked up by someone felt amazing. Caught's goofy grin. He turned and demanded, "Why are you smiling?" Slurring her words in a drunken haze, blurted out, "So you're my father now." Now she was adopted yet cherished by as his own daughter. Suddenly seized Duke's hand. "Can I walk?" Holding Dad's hand. I just want to walk home holding father's hand if only once. Duke Roll fell silent. He released her hand without a second thought. No matter the world, Wu is always abandoned, but she still clings to hope just once. He suddenly spoke up, if that's the case, it'll take a long time to reach the dormitory. The moment the words faded, Roll settled in front of the girl. He said, climb up. Was left speechless by his actions, but then noticed her childlike smile return. Chattered, I wish I could ride on father's back, how did he know? The Duke softly replied, not at all, you're not too heavy. She rested her head on the Duke's shoulder, drawing strength from him just as does from Duke. Dazed whispered, it's just like father. The Duke snapped, nonsense, I was nothing like you when I was young. His voice softened, became a child again, confiding, father, do you know? I always the other kids, no one ever came to pick me up. But today father arrived. Today I feel a little less pathetic. His candid words left deep in thought. Chatted nonstop in her father's ear the entire journey. Her bold move shattered records, drawing in countless new constellations and skyrocketing the channel from silver to gold. Drifted off on the Duke's back and awoke in her soft bed. Woke up with a pounding headache. His tolerance is impressive, but no one can handle that much soju. Donations flooded in, my head throbbed and couldn't recall anything from last night but drinking. Viewer even gave 10,000. Honestly, I love it when BJ gets like this. Realized the Sioux had grown in number. Breaking records and climbing the channel ranks, now dared to dream of collecting 1 billion. She swiftly launched the stream. Channel Villainous BJ ranked 99 with 1,397,500 in total donations. Comments are flooding in, this stream's shining brighter than my future. Look at it soar to the top like a blue chip stock. Studied the data, making the top 100 looked impressive, but how tough was 99th place? A comment replied instantly, extremely tough. Others had ranked before, but this was the first time someone broke into the top 100 so quickly. A sudden knock sounded at the door. Come in. Beamed lady, you're awake. Here, use this, it'll help you feel better. As ate breakfast, her only memory from yesterday was downing 10 bottles of soju. Now she wondered, how did I even get back here? Cried, my lady, don't you remember? The head of the family brought you back. No, my father, no, I don't remember where, but he brought you back. He donated a large sum to the school and as he left, handed you this note. West, a renowned mage, will be your guardian. Because of this low status, he skips the ceremony to avoid rumors. Soon the Squire family will build a new practice field, library, and garden. A new restaurant and coffee shop open next month, with all profits funding Squire and Willow family scholarships for students. The Squire Scholarship Fund will handle this. Was stunned despite seeing her drunk last night, who despises those who lose their dignity, still entrusted her with that authority. Kept reading, noticing how much weight you've lost today. Don't skip meals, take care of yourself and drink responsibly, Dad. Was still stunned that he cared about me. This kind of nagging isn't so bad, in fact it's comforting. My heart feels as if it's bubbling with warmth. After breakfast arrived at school, the girls rushed over, good morning. Last night's party was a blast, did you make it home okay? Didn't Duke Squire carry you out of main building? Confused, wonders could it be true, he really did look sweet and honestly I'm so jealous. Still didn't get it, if that was the main building by the busy front gate, he really did that in full view of everyone. His reaction sparked another round of cheers. Lady, you're blushing. Embarrassed, impossible, lady doesn't even know the meaning of the word, she just drank too much last night, that's all. Sensing trouble, decided to bail. Feigning exhaustion, she smiled, nice to see everyone, leaving already lady, running away because you're embarrassed. Kept attending class. Mimosa burst in from behind, shouting his name. You betrayed me and joined the student council. Having as your guardian mage is more than enough, what more could you ask for, you'd better back out now. Mimosa was too terrified of demons to join the association, so she kept quiet, yet still discovered the truth, blamed herself, wishing she'd run to the library. An idea sparked in his mind, without a word he spun around and dashed off. Mimosa snapped, I'm not finished, leave the student council now. Elijah suddenly appeared and instantly seized her by the throat. Greetings, Professor Elijah. The royal sharp sense for malice is so exceptional that Mimosa, with her royal blood, instinctively fears Elijah, while our professor still exudes his usual elegant demon aura. Flashed a charming smile. Hello, Professor Elijah, I read the book you recommended. Though it felt wrong, had no choice, can I borrow another book? Elijah commanded, follow me, and slipped away once more. See you next time, Mimosa. Trailed Elijah back to the office. Lagged behind, breathless, and called out. Professor Elijah, I'm still drunk, can we take it slow? Elijah used this moment to teach. Tolerance is vital for a mage, mere theory won't save you from monsters. Was terrified, I'm sorry. At last the two reached the office, come in. Elijah extends his hand, does he want to lead me inside? She placed her hand over Professor Elijah's. His expression remained cold as he demanded, what are you doing? You ask for your book back, only then does realize her mistake. Oh no, how embarrassing, why did she do that? She fumbled the book to Elijah, but it slipped from her grasp. She dropped the book to the ground. As Elijah bent to retrieve the book, terror surged through. Yet he remained unfazed. Any questions? I have a question about the book. Despite her doubts about questioning a great demon, spoke up. I have a question about a magical creature touched by demonic energy. I need to learn a spell that can heal the afflicted creature. A comment appears, Professor's book might help. Does he mean the ideal type she mentioned in this interview? Elijah pressed, are you in his class? This put in a tough spot. Professor teaches magical creatures and every animal in this world despises. Determined to be ready for anything, replied to Elijah, no, I don't have it, but I want to be prepared for any monsters I might face as a student council member. The office door bursts open. Professor hurried past Professor Elijah. You have company. Greeted, hello, Professor, just as another comment appeared. So your ideal type is that mad scientist. Facing instantly recognized her mistake. Why was my judgment so clouded then? You can't call someone your type just by their looks. Watched her for a moment, then suddenly spoke with intrigue. My data points to only one match, Squire with dark brown hair and silver gray eyes. Poked cheek, she sighed, what's he doing? Elijah intervened, stopping Professor, wait, she's my student. Quickly explained, I didn't do anything, I just made sure she wasn't a doppelganger. They used to say had a cat's wicked charm, but now she just looks like a sick puppy. Quickly replied, oh, I just had a few glasses of wine at the club party. Beamed, see, the demonic energy's gone. Elijah instantly cut him off, don't talk nonsense. Insisted, my honey tea made from magical flowers is the best cure for a hangover, you know that, right? Your honey-based makeup is your main income. Froze. How did you know? I never named the brand after myself. I know you're the owner of the Yet factory, my social status makes it clear. Broke down in tears, pleading, you'll keep the secret, right? After launching the limited edition, I've received death threats, all because the supply is so scarce. Of course I won't tell anyone really, so will you put it in writing? As they spoke, Elijah stood silently aside, witnessing his colleague's shameless behavior. No need to worry, just pour me some honey tea. Professor Elijah can be our witness. Elijah nodded, yes, Professor. Feeling reassured by Elijah, cheerfully invited Wu. Come to my lab, I'll give you 100 glasses. Seize the moment, can I borrow books on treating magical creatures with demonic energy? Oh, I didn't know you were interested in my class, of course, and you're welcome to enroll too. At this school, nobles hold such power that no one dares question you for changing your major. Trailed to the lab with Elijah close behind, she couldn't read him at all. The three hurried into his lab. Welcome to my lab. The moment entered, she sensed an unfamiliar magic. She scanned her surroundings. That golden magic is meant for magical creatures. It's the absolute worst at handling magical creatures. Stared at them in confusion. A magical creature suddenly leaped at. She stumbled back in terror, I'm going to die. But no one was killed. The creatures didn't just tolerate her, they truly adored her. Creatures of all sizes closed in on what's going on. Rushed over, oh no, are you alright? I forgot I was letting these creatures out. Strangely, magical creatures are clever, they never approach humans like this. That little white creature is obsessed with licking him nonstop. Professor, can you please take them away? The little ones fixed their gaze on her. Was shocked too. You're a genius when it comes to magical creatures. Stares blankly, does really have that kind of talent. Exclaimed, mages who command magical creatures are incredibly rare. Your magic is powerful and you connect with them naturally, why not switch your major? Professor claims so, but it's suspicious. Wu presses on, how exactly do you see it? I could explain everything, but you might not believe me, so why not see for yourself? Still trusts her memory. Normally, magical creatures would bare their teeth the moment approaches. Will they truly listen? Despite not knowing the outcome, pressed on and ordered them to sit. At her command to lie down and raise their legs, they obeyed instantly. Cheered, thrilled that they listened to you, no magic needed. Despite your awful elemental magic grades, you still don't want to switch majors, do you? Hesitated, then suddenly a hand rested on her shoulder. Instantly grew wary of their power. Elijah shielded. Sensing danger, the creatures retreated. They're always alert to demonic energy. Elijah didn't hesitate, he refused on his behalf. Is my pupil. Elijah's single red heart marks his strongest show of. Refused to give up. Few master elemental magic from the start, maybe Clyde, maybe me, but she's just a mage who picked the wrong path. Elijah shot back, only just begun to master elemental magic. Suddenly suggests a wild idea, double majoring. Immediately refuses, anxious it might affect Elijah's feelings toward her. She hesitated, thank you, but I'm already a junior. Still pressed on, then it's a waste, someone as brilliant as you deserves recognition. Elijah cut in, give up. Sensing Wu's rejection, the creature drew closer, wearing a pitiful expression. Suddenly understood, they think I'm in danger, that I need their protection. Stroked the magical creature and said, I've never seen them this lively before. They were once corrupted by demonic energy, but they've only just recovered. They'd been unwell until today, but the moment they saw you, they instantly recovered. The comment surged again, I'm not superstitious, but has anyone ever seen a streamer possessed by their own content? The more sensitive a creature's design, the more deeply it senses the creator's pure love, and the more the creator cherishes their world, the more that world embraces and welcomes them as its supreme being. Finally understood, no wonder her emotions felt so connected. It feels like we're connected, but when a magical creature is tainted by demonic energy, I can't believe it's real. Engulfed by darkness, their eyes blaze red as they transform into fierce monsters. Caused all this pain, so how could they possibly like her? Filled with regret, she offered a heartfelt apology. I'm sorry. Now she understood. Why did leave that pointed note? He worries about me because he cares. Elijah cut in, class is starting, let's go. Grabbed the book and rushed over. Wait, take this, you can return it anytime, but sooner is better, realized, wants her to come back. Sunlight slips through every window pane. Spirits lifted, she was thrilled to have finally borrowed the book she wanted. Elijah watched her vacant smile and asked, Are you thinking of changing your major? Startled, quickly replied, No, not at all. Magical creatures are hypersensitive, humans can't even come close to their magic. They're powerful and hard to control, so only a select few study them, making magical creatures a rare field to enter. Gain fame and fortune. Your compatibility is exceptional, change your major and your talent will shine. Agreed with Elijah, but she replied, Professor Elijah, I don't want to be a great mage, I just want your acceptance. Elemental magic is finally making sense, and with every discovery it grows even more fascinating. A world of limitless possibilities. Elijah stopped giving her advice after hearing that. I get it. This time Elijah's pace had slowed. He slowed his pace for her and couldn't help but smile. She suddenly realized he was matching his pace to hers. Has his risen? His eyes sparkled, rose by one red heart, drawing the constellation's close attention. Some even began supporting Elijah's story. Was stunned that was this high. Unbelievable speed. Even with Libby's role, earning 2 red hearts on hard mode meant meeting in person at least 20 times. Did I do something that changed Elijah's heart? She wondered if the magical creatures were to blame. A century ago, magical students lived in heaven, until the great demon's spacecraft changed everything. Heaven's plants and animals tumbled down to earth. Heaven's magic energy is a delicacy for magical creatures, so as a great angel, Elijah commanded them with ease. Magical creatures, those he knows better than anyone, seem unusually friendly to me. Catching her gaze, Elijah met her eyes in silence, calmly taking control. Seducing or insulting a professor, both are completely out of line for a student. Startled, quickly blurted, It's just, you look especially cool today. Simple flattery always worked on my professors. Elijah smiled coldly. That was seduction. Stood speechless, stunned, while Elijah boldly answered without letting go. He stepped into the classroom. Countless constellations backed Elijah's story while blushed, unable to believe it was real. Soon after news broke about Duke's support for the school and story, everyone was talking, and I heard the Squire family made a huge donation. Are they strengthening ties with the Willow family? A gifted commoner was chosen as guardian mage, personally appointed by the Duke of Squire himself. The highlight joins the student council. The constellations deemed a star of wild, unpredictable power. Was clearly annoyed as rumors spread fast, drawing unnecessary attention from more people. Now that she's the center of attention, rarely finds privacy, but this time she slips away to a hidden spot where no one will find her. BJ Mukbang Search Constellation donated 10,000, asking, Have you been eating more? Your skin looks better. Smiled, admitting, Now that I think about it, my appetite's back. The headache's gone. Lately they've been so bad I even fainted in the library. After that, I blacked out on the sofa, everything went blank. The comments buzzed, Is this a common symptom after transmigrating? Many BJs experience it right away. Was caught off guard, so transmigration is a real symptom. Transmigrating into a villainous, of course, problems followed. When stressed, I hide abandoned things, maybe that's why I isolate myself. Is this a transmigration symptom? I'm glad I'm alright now, as rested senior appeared. Rainy Rose arrived, carrying a large box and greeted us. Called her name, leaving the girl stunned. How do you know me? Rainy Rose, a key ally crafted by Libby's team, has the potential to create alchemical objects if her abilities are fully developed. She's often seen in the abandoned annex. Wait, this road leads right to it. Rainy Rose hesitated. May I pass? Eyed the girl, sensing her wariness, the notorious noble who despises commoners crossing her path. But this time Wu happily accepted. Rainy Rose asked, confused, Why are you leaving? I haven't eaten yet. Felt right at home with this line, after all she's a poor commoner. Rose and approached the girl. She smiled and handed her food to Rainy Rose. I haven't touched the sandwich, I lost my appetite, will you eat it for me? Rainy Rose accepted it with a puzzled look, thank you. In that instant the girl made a startling discovery. Senior, do you like magical creatures? Replied, a little. Magical creatures are growing increasingly corrupted by dark energy. Civilian casualties are rising, and Rose's expression shifts at these words. She quickly resumed Wu, then grabbed the Encyclopedia of Magical Plants, complete with helpful illustrations. Despite blunt words, recognized her warmth and replied with a bright smile, I'll borrow it from the library later, thank you. Rainy Rose blushed, no need to thank me. Asked again, the knights were sent to Pansy Village, home for a month, right? Rainy Rose exclaimed, I live there too, my mother was thrilled to see the knights. Our village is now protected by the Squire family. Heart soared, was that his way of thanking me for protecting the village? She's just like Professor Elijah, boring, so why are you smiling? Sighs, there's more to it than that. Because you're irresistible. Rainy Rose blushed and dashed off. I'm leaving, go on and don't trip. Once she left, resumed monitoring the broadcast channel. Now ranked 105th, wondered if quietly broadcasting these past few days had cost them a spot in the top 100. She realized you can't dodge trends forever. If the constellations lose interest in the channel, who knows what he'll do next. Took a deep breath, calming her nerves. Jack will head back to school soon. The student council meets for the first time today. She walked in to find Clyde waiting. An eerie silence gripped the scene. Its expression shifts. Of all places I have to sit between and Clyde. Spotting her said, "Sit here, no game demands such a bizarre seating plan." The chat channel popped up with the keyword love triangle, but Wu instantly dismissed it. "Clyde won't even look at me now." As soon as she arrived, Clyde said, "Let's begin." The members discussed recent reports of magical creatures near the capital being tainted by toxic gas. Fear is spreading. It's time to protect households beyond the noble's reach. Increase security, expand the protection zone with additional guards. Just like when Senior dispatched knights to Pansy Village. Added that way we can expand the area endlessly. The Empire can't keep funding everywhere forever. Stayed silent, but his protective gaze warned against any reckless words. A member turned to Wu and asked, "Why isn't Lady helping?" The student council's mission mirrors the Willow family's legacy. Embrace it fully, Senior. Double the protection zone with President Clyde's funding. We'll share both the credit and the risk. Saw through their scheme. If I were truly, I'd choose Clyde. How dare they awaken a sleeping lion? Just as predicted, Clyde shot to his feet in anger. He declared, "Those who spoke up will cover the expansion costs themselves." It matches the Squire Family Scholarship Organization's donation. They faced instant consequences. "President, that's not fair. The punishment far outweighs the Squire's donation." Clyde cut them off, silently asking, "Is your request fair?" The question left them speechless with embarrassment. Clyde's behavior is strange. Why is he standing up for me? At that moment, the system assigned Wu a mission. Embarrass, earn 500,000 or fail and face expulsion at the hands of the noble Squire family. The risk is outrageous but is untouchable. She sprang into action, but Wu warned, "That's right, this is reckless. Expanding the Squire's influence worthy of the king's attention." Valhalla's student council is a paramilitary force. Its grip on the great family's heirs breeds constant political unrest. To survive, it masks its motives by publicly backing the emperor. Every meeting is recorded by royal authority. Expanding the protection zone may be easily misinterpreted. My family is challenging territory. The Squire lands are familiar ground, but crossing the royal family changes everything. Setting foot on His Majesty's land, even the slightest defiance brands us as traitors. Flushed with embarrassment, he bowed quickly, apologizing, "Forgive me, I misspoke out of ignorance. Mission complete, reward 500,000. At ease, now we can meet without interruptions." After confronting, wondered, was that out of character for? The door slammed open once more. The student burst in, urgently calling for President Clyde. "Monsters have invaded village. Over 10 people are injured." The principal instructed the student council to investigate. The student council sprang into action and headed straight for village. Naturally was essential. In an instant she spent all her reward money on horseback lessons. As they traveled, Clyde pressed her, "Why did you hesitate? This is urgent." While watched the store grew anxious, seeing hesitate to mount the horse. Rushing over, he asked what was wrong, unaware she was simply waiting to buy the horseback riding skill, having never even ridden a bicycle. Snapped at Clyde, frustration flaring at his impatience. He didn't seem to hear, so quickly made an excuse, had suddenly forgotten how to ride. He lashed out at her with harsh words, utterly incompetent. Secretly watched her every expression. He said, "Tell me next time, I'll teach you." She remembered he could have stopped Clyde from sending her. Clyde sent and to join him and agreed without protest. Clyde can speak, but seeing her with his annoyance is clear, he's had enough. The three arrived to find the village consumed by flames. "We've arrived." Gazed silently at the village. The student council rushed to their temporary base and village. Clyde scans the village map. 5 wolf beasts invaded, 1 purified, 1 slain. "We cleared their corpses from the camp to stop them from tainting the land. The monsters strike repeatedly, so we urgently called Valhalla." Clyde crossed his arms and replied coldly, "His Majesty is worried about the growing attacks. The Willow family must act." "Thank you, Lord Clyde." Studies the map intently. Question struck her, why isn't this area protected? There's no one here, are we really wasting manpower guarding beasts? She quickly realized, the beasts invaded simply because the scenario demanded it. If the player ignores key facilities, both the well and windmill will be destroyed, wrecking the villagers' lives until they rise again. Without hesitation, warned everyone, a wolf pack here could be disastrous. The guard quickly apologized, saying they were short on staff for the houses. Doubting her sincerity, chose to take matters into her own hands. She said, "I'll scout the area." 2 voices echoed instantly, one was. The other belonged to Clyde. They both tried to stop her, this was too dangerous. She needs 2 red hearts to make the male lead obey. Both are beneath that level's only option is to persuade with reason. Wu acted on instinct, not recklessness. Rushed after her, it's too dangerous to go alone. She hurried to the slain monster and cast her spell, "Oh, unclean life. Be cleansed." Clyde's eyes shot open in shock. Proved I could use purification magic too. Studying magical creatures will reveal the secret behind spell. Still, that small spark of magic wasn't enough. Clyde remained unconvinced as the beasts kept attacking the same spot. But she's heading for the unsecured area, what now? Saw she'd been cornered, her escape route chosen for her, but she knew she was no bystander to her own fate. Spoke up, noting that beasts often appear near the magical plant farms in this area. You already know this, it's basic. Managed to enrage Clyde once more. He couldn't hold her back, just send a magic message if something goes wrong. The moment the words faded, Clyde turned to go. I'll send it before the beasts attack, no need to fight, decided. Barely stepped into the forest before two beasts appeared. How did it come to this? The beasts appeared sooner than expected, but everything was fine until her horse panicked, threw her off and bolted. She sent a rescue signal immediately after falling. Now she just has to survive 5 more minutes. Her very first battle begins now. Braced for the worst, she could die in a real battle, her life unfinished and unclean. Be cleansed. The light raced toward the two beasts. They roared, startling. Doubting her weak magic, chanted desperately, "Oh, unclean life, be purified, be purified, be purified," repeating the spell again and again. Kept repeating it until the chat erupted. Stop, they're purified. Only then did she glance back, too, was stunned. Even with my wide area purification, the power should weakened. How were they cleansed so easily? The two beasts bounded toward, eager to entangle him. Heard that familiar sound and looked ahead. Another pack, now armed with combat experience, swiftly summoned all her strength. He fired directly at the pack of beasts. They fled in panic. Are you just going to stand there? The beasts fleeing wasn't part of the plan. Looks like they hate being purified too. After defeated the beasts alone, the rescue team arrived, and that's when we found her. Monsters close in on her. Tirelessly cleansed the last of the unclean. Stood unharmed, leaving everyone stunned except who rushed to her side. With a surge of magic, he trapped the beasts. There's no escape now. This is our moment. Unleashed her full power, determined to purify. The blinding light surged outward. Wu purified the entire pack of monsters, then collapsed to the ground in exhaustion. Completely purified. Arrived and swiftly pulled her up. Asked anxiously, "Are you okay?" Muttered, "I'm not okay, I might die. Professor Elijah was right, mages need stamina more than magic." Met her gaze, "You never stop surprising me. Have magical creatures always obeyed you?" Knew that wasn't true, had gone too far. Before could respond, a guard interrupted. "This isn't just about obedience, it's unprecedented. Purifying a living monster corrupted by dark energy is so difficult that even top mages often fail." But the lady pulled it off with ease. He dashed to Wu, wondering if the Squire bloodline hid an extraordinary ancestor. She replied coldly, "I doubt they're all human." Just then Clyde approached, and something unexpected happened. The wolves watched him with suspicion. Magical creatures instantly sense Clyde's half-human, half-demon nature. To them, a mixed blood is a cursed being, unworthy of this land. Couldn't stand Clyde's expression. We promised to ignore him, but how could I turn away from such a somber face? Sighed and walked over to Clyde. Called out, "Need something." Clyde gazed at her, expressionless. "Follow me, I need to write a report, just give me a moment." Before leaving, turned back to gently pat the little ones goodbye. Head back to your old home. Once purified, a magical creature resists dark energy and can't be corrupted again, but caution is still needed. They held her a silent farewell. Holy power from the magical creatures surged outward. Everyone was stunned by that scene. The area is now cleansed. The guards cheered. The contamination is gone thanks to the lady. Long live the lady. Though praised, disliked the attention, still at least it was good news. In a future ravaged by pollution, madness swept the masses, and to quell their fury, the royal family sacrificed scapegoats. And so ended the infamous, the Empire's greatest troublemaker. Was deep in despair when Clyde suddenly reached out to her. "Snap out of it and take this." Dismissed the offer, insisting, "I'll go myself." Clyde instantly criticized the shoes. Noticed her high heels had shattered, likely from sprinting across the barren land. Why is Clyde being kind when he's still Blackheart? Is this a test, a trap? Determined to survive, refused, saying, "It's fine, you said you need to write a report, right?" "I'm fine, let's go." Clyde scowled again. "Do whatever you want." With that he turned and walked away. Before she knew it, the whole village had gathered, yet every eye was fixed on, sparking her curiosity. Back then, showing skin was forbidden. Rushed over and urged, "Remember your noble status, show some grace." The chat channel warns nobles should never go barefoot, especially with an escort present. Finally realized the truth, she couldn't say no. "I need to tell you exactly what to do." Without a second thought, wrapped her arms around his neck. "Hurry up and carry me." Stars burst in the sky. This is a true villainous noble. Lifted her, bewildered. Nestled in his arms, finally had a moment to notice, was lean, yet more muscular than she expected. His muscles are firm. How much training does it take to look like that? But his face is flushed as if he's unwell. The chat quickly urged her to check his, and sure enough, it had risen by 1 heart. Broke the silence. "Could you stop staring at me?" Ignored his words, focused only on the 2 red hearts, appearing faster than I expected. If this keeps up, I might finally get my happy ending with someone. But only if I can escape the bad ending. Clyde's black heart jumped from 2 to 3. If I run into the emperor who despises the Squire family, my chances of a tragic end soar. As long as I avoid the palace, there's little chance I'll run into the emperor, no need to worry about him. Cut to the Sun Palace at the heart of the royal capital. Your Majesty, Lord Willow requests an audience. Let him through. Sovereign of the Sun Palace. Your Majesty, this is Willow, second son of the Willow family. Seated on the throne is Emperor himself. I've heard the tale. Lady Squire made a bold impression at her very first student council meeting. No mage has ever purified land tainted by dark energy, yet even magical creatures obey her. I believe the Squire family had fallen at last, all because of their useless eldest daughter. But if can control magical creatures, I have to ask. Valhalla should realize this long ago, so why haven't they? Over a century has passed since the Squire family's visual magic vanished from their bloodline. They were meant to vanish into history like those before them, but Lady Squire was found to command magical creatures. What happened? Replied cautiously, surprised by the lady's inconsistent behavior toward magical creatures during the aptitude test. But suddenly, without reason, the emperor descended, cutting off, "You know I despise lies." The emperor's words filled him with fear. He bowed quickly, "Forgive my failure, your highness. Of course I treasure you. I'm truly honored." Emperor, deceived since age 5 by the empress dowager and nobles, is despised by the emperor who even plotted to replace him. The moment the emperor came of age, he exposed his deceivers and burned them publicly. The emperor commanded, "Rise." He waved his hand and an item was brought forth. Asked bewildered, "What is this?" The emperor replied swiftly, "The Sun Palace invitation is reserved for a Magic Academy student with remarkable achievements. Meeting her in person and offering encouragement comes naturally to me." Was baffled, the emperor wished to meet an unmarried woman who wasn't even her family's heir. Is he testing to see if she'll play the fool the emperor wants, or become an unpredictable threat? Bowed without question, agreeing to deliver the message, all while secretly watching, ready to eliminate her if needed. Cut back to Valhalla School. Went in school as usual until trouble struck. The Magic Association sought her out. President Milo himself blocked path. How intriguing, lady. Forced a polite smile. "Hello, President." Milo didn't hesitate, he got straight to the point. "You used magical creatures to purify pollution. Your talent is exactly what our association needs. We want to study your magic and share it with others. Will you help advance research for the good of humanity?" The constellations bristle with indignation as the mad old man plots to use her as his guinea pig. "Wu can only scoff mankind, my ass. This is just a scheme to test new magic, a trap meant for Libby from the start. Accepting means instant game over. Fortunately, understood the risks and handled them, just as you claim my magic holds unique power. The tests reveal I have zero magic. You claim it's for humanity's sake, but even as a B+, I impulsively joined the student council. Do I really have to become the Magic Association's next test subject?" Moment finished, chaos erupted. How could anyone scorn such a noble sacrifice? Still, the senior's words rang true. Why must Valhalla students be the Magic Association's guinea pigs? The follower of Milo shouted, "Lady, will you stand by your words, or refuse to sacrifice for the Empire?" Suddenly, Duke's voice thundered from behind. "Those who dared call for my daughter's sacrifice, step forward and be silent." Was stunned what was doing at school. He moved closer, standing beside. Roll thundered, "Admit your mistakes and kneel, or I'll make sure you never stand again." Before appeared, the constellation stirred in unrest. Sensing his rising anger and overwhelming power, stepped back as reminded. His DNA is actually. An unexplainable warmth filled her heart, but his presence blocked my view, protective yet comforting. I wondered if she caught those familiar feelings, but maybe not. After instructing, Wu erupted, shouting, "Confess now, admit you hurt my daughter for your own selfish desires." Stunned into silence, they said nothing. Milo stayed calm, stepped forward, and declared, "You've gone too far, Duke, even for your own child. My association only asks the princess to cooperate for the greater good. Scorning our noble intentions does not sit well with me." Burned to unleash a curse right in the villain's face. President Milo is obsessed with magic experiments. Words and arguments never reach him. Hearing that ended the conversation without another word. Squire takes this as a family insult and sparks a territorial war. Never imagined would go this far to protect. Duke's declaration ignited an uproar. War over territory had begun. Was stunned by Duke's words. Just then the principal of Valhalla arrived. "Choose your words carefully, Duke Squire." The stakes had just risen. Demanded, "Squire won't tolerate insults. Duke Willow, you know exactly who he is." Principal Willow refused to be outdone. He shouted, "Furious Duke." The students whispered, "Come to think of it, the Squire family has never lost a territorial war. Even the Willow family fell in the last battle." The comments asked about the last territorial war, sighed the battle from 100 years ago. A century ago, the Squire and Willow families planned a union, until the Willow family's eldest son intervened. On her wedding day, the princesses fled with his lover. Humiliated, the Squire princess became a laughingstock. Enraged, her family's head declared war. To punish the Willow family, he killed their leader. In retaliation, the Willow family raided the Squire's archive and burned every secret incantation passed down through generations. Their families became sworn enemies. With a stern gaze warned, if anyone touches my daughter, they should be ready to vanish. The tension in the air grew unbearable. The girls admire Wu. Duke's loyalty is unmatched, and he'll do anything to protect Senior. Principal Willow fell silent, unable to argue further. He bowed his head and confessed, I admit my mistake, the Academy failed to protect Lady in time. Stunned by his actions, they pulled back, wary of the watching crowd. The principal turned to President Milo of the Magic Association and said, today's incident was rushed. Our school will issue a formal apology. I may have crossed the line today, lady, but please trust, I meant no harm. I truly admire your unique talent. Scoffed, he dragged himself here at dawn, all to feed the Magic Association's greed. Despite the principal's apology, Duke's fury burned on. He would never forget the faces of those who wronged his daughter. Prepare to pay the price. The Magic Association tried to apologize, but the Duke ignored them and quietly called for. Jolted eyes snapping to him. Duke seized her hand and strode away. Never released hand. How long are you planning to keep holding hands? Summoning her courage, asked what brought father to Valhalla. He replied with a heavy sigh, I heard what happened yesterday. With magical beasts cleansing the land, I know the elders at the Magic Association won't let you walk free. Just as I expected. You should told father about your ability sooner. Scolded by her, father was stunned. I never knew I had that power, nor that it would cause such chaos. Roll quickly told her, for demon mages like us, status means nothing without purpose, only those who rise above it truly matter. He warned, even as a princess you can't be careless. Why are you so reckless in an unfamiliar place? I never expected it to be this loud, what's going on? Scolded her, when I was your age I was already married with kids, how can you be so clueless? Just like every parent, he wielded tales of his own era as a weapon. Lowered her head and confessed, from now on I'll report to father first. Footsteps echoed, long time no see, Duke Squire. Drawn by the voice, instantly turned to look. That was Willow's second son of the principal, Clyde's uncle, wondered, why is someone meant for Valhalla's palace here? He stepped up and declared, Squire. Before the king's letter arrived. Pay your respects. Stood motionless, panicked, blurting out what? A shocking reveal. Responded at once, a message straight from His Majesty. We praise her for defending and rebuilding villages destroyed by the beasts. Lady Squire, you are summoned to the Sun Palace. Startled, Wu realized he had invited only her. Saw it coming but never believed it would become real. The summons arrived from the royal palace. Struggled to steady her nerves. She looked up, every servant in the palace was watching her. If I slip up, my reaction will reach the emperor. One mistake, and I could be arrested or even executed before I step inside the palace. Fearing a fate like could only accept the letter, I'll follow the emperor's orders. The constellations eagerly await this meeting. Only felt differently. To even approach the emperor, mastering advanced etiquette was the bare minimum. Her manners were still just average. Entering the palace like this could get her executed for offending the emperor. Unwilling to defy orders but clearly displeased, frowned at, Are you done? He snapped. Then go. I can't take it anymore because of your father. Replied coldly, I'm only following the king's orders. Lost control, glaring in fury. What a convenient excuse. Willow brought the Magic Association, and now he's entangled with the royal palace. Sensing chaos brewing, quickly intervened. Young Duke, please give me a moment to speak with my father. Silently, she urged herself, lead away before things spiral further. Granted her wish. Quickly pulled aside, urging him to join her in the living room for tea. Inside's dorm, 2 steaming cups of tea await. Conjured layer upon layer of magical shields. How many protection spells are here? Is he that scared of being overheard? With a sigh of relief, Roll muttered, Am I insane calling an unmarried girl to the Sun Palace? The emperor must have lost his mind in his youth, harshly criticizing him. He asked again, what does the invitation say? Tore open the letter and scanned its contents. Word of your victory over the beasts has reached me, Squire Lady. I commend your bravery and invite you to the Sun Palace this Sunday. An elegantly written invitation, yet its true message is deadly clear. Refuse and you die. An imperial invitation is sure to cause a stir. Might find it a hassle. After read the letter, Roll grew anxious. Since the emperor prizes etiquette, you must dress impeccably. Drop by the house before heading to the palace. You'll need to pick an outfit, since the dorm only has uniforms and plain dresses. His gaze softened as he looked at his daughter. Was shocked that already knew. After a long pause, she realized he'd been closely watching over her all this time. But Wu quickly dismissed the thought, maybe he just fears my actions will hurt the family's image. She then replied, I'll go home with Libby on Friday, thank you, father. Hearing this, the Roll felt briefly fulfilled. All right, I'll wait for you, said, flashing a smile at. She wondered could truly smile so gently. A few days later, it was time to head home. As Libby chatted with her classmates, one asked, Want to come over this weekend? Libby replied, let's go to the lake instead. When will you answer my confession? Libby replied, confused. I already rejected you. He laughed, but maybe you'll feel differently if you think about it. Just then appeared. Watching the crowd of young men around Libby, could only sigh from the sidelines, of course. Everyone adored the heroine and wild rumors swirled all around. Spotting Libby clung to her like a lifeline, while the two boys, startled by the news, whipped around to face Senior. Libby rocketed toward I poured my heart into this heroine, and now these side characters dare challenge her. Sensing trouble, Wu quickly asked, is something wrong with my sister? The boys stammered, sorry, so famous it was obvious. Once the two left, asked her sister, do you get guys like that a lot? She replied sweetly, a lot of classmates talk to me all the time. Libby, startled, quickly replies, no, why do you ask? That's too predictable, maybe Libby won't fall for the male lead at all but someone else. But Libby insisted she'd never met anyone like that. They hopped into the carriage and headed back to the mansion with pestering, so do you have a type, tell me. Libby paused, then quickly replied with a forced kindness. Someone always looking out for me, so sweet. Finding someone like that is rare, thinks those three are all trash, but Libby smiles and insists she knows just the right person. Wondered who could it be, none of the male leads fit, each one is a wolf hiding his true nature. Libby smiled at, standing before me, it's you I like. Hoping for a heartfelt story, but seeing's concern, I realize Libby expects so little from me. All she's seen are my clashes with Dad and street fights. Wu suddenly glanced outside. Was cornered by two classmates. He blinked in bewilderment. Everyone knows despises her new family, and besides, you can't even perform beast purification magic. Snapped, shut up. No one dared step in, they just watched and whispered, the young masters are fighting, wait, isn't that the Squire family's heir? The young masters taunted, warning he'd be cast out once the lady became heir. At their breaking point, lashed out with magic, I told you to shut up. Was about to act when another appeared and stopped him, everyone cancel your magic now. His magic vanished. Wu has tied up the two young masters, now let's hear what they have to say. Her new magic summoning system works wonders, now short commands unleash spells far more efficiently than before. Bound and furious shouted, what's the meaning of this, let me go. Refused, if I let you go you'll just cause more trouble, then she stepped before the two young masters, hello. The two boys are drawn to magic. Rushed over, worry in her voice, sister what's happening? Both kids' eyes lit up at the sight of Wu, proof of the impact two beautiful faces can have. Pulled aside and asked, are you my brother's friend? Friends shouldn't fight, they should stick together. I'll let you go, so behave. Snapped her fingers, breaking the spell the moment the words faded. Fought his way free. Despite fierce reaction, she remained gentle, taking his hand and saying, let's go. The boy snapped, you planned this from the start, smiled warmly, why, I'm just holding my dear brother's hand. Shouted, enough lies, what are you planning, why are you doing this? Smiled, if we look united, don't you think those kids will watch their mouths from now on? Clung to his hand like a stubborn puppy, his mouth running, why would I support you as heir just because you helped a little, you'll never become Duchess of Squire, idiot. Just laughed, yeah, you're absolutely right. Do I look like I'm joking, I never wanted to be Duchess, at those words instantly released her hand. Then why are you so eager to throw my mother and me out? Libby was stunned by his question. Was always like this, hurting her family and refusing to accept them as her own. Though wasn't to blame, Sname forced her to shoulder the burden. Clasped his hand and apologized, admitting, at first accepting you and my stepmother was hard, I feared ending up alone. From now on, no one can force you or your mother out of the Duke's house. Even Libby can't kick you out. I swear on my life. His words made blush, but the stubborn boy insisted, don't misunderstand, I haven't forgiven you yet. From then on, the three walked home together. Held his hand but quickly insisted, don't get the wrong idea, I was just acting friendly because those idiots were watching. The following day, inside Squire Mansion. A wide array of clothes awaited. Stares confused, what are these? Lady stepped forward and calmly said, I've summoned the store staff to the mansion. Only those dressed in fine clothes and jewelry may enter the Sun Palace. At last you can wear real clothes instead of that awful uniform, but refused, saying, I already have plenty of fabric, I don't need new ones. The comments urged her to accept and with a sigh agreed, fashion games have always been popular after all. Treating it as just a game swiftly helped pick an outfit. Lady watched closely from the sidelines, after all you're the first lady ever invited to the Sun Palace, and no amount of preparation feels like enough. I just hope the clothes here meet your standards. The constellation donated and I've never felt more threatened. Clothes are no longer an issue for her, but etiquette upgrades still aren't in stock. Within moments Lady N beamed, you look beautiful as always. With no other option and no system support, hurried to the palace, where the emperor had assembled a grand welcoming party. Stepped out of the carriage, ready to use everything she knew. And confront the emperor. His arrival was announced at once, Lady is here, your majesty. She enters now. The door creaked open. The emperor awaited Lady, meticulously prepared for their meeting. His nerves were on edge. She quickly bowed and greeted the world emperor, your majesty. The emperor smiled with satisfaction. Come in, it seems the greeting went smoothly. Seized the moment to review the character details after the emperor. Suddenly, the unexpected occurred. Emperor's affection for her was marked by 4 black hearts. Black hearts warn players 3 in a row mean danger is near. But since 4, its power has transformed. At this stage, even a single thought can mean death, this is the ultimate risk. The emperor entered, glanced at, and commanded, sit down, lady. The emperor began, since seeing you at last year's summer festival, you've changed. It's an honor you remember me. How could I forget? That woman's piercing gaze sent into a panic. Fun-loving, why aren't you loyal to Clyde? Yuji's drops every time I seem to chase the Empress's throne. Yuji's bad ending doesn't just doom, it destroys the entire Squire family. Quickly clarified it wasn't just me, every woman there was uneasy. Dancing with his fairy tale majesty would be all we'd ever desire. Prince, don't say that, it sounds mocking, he's nothing like the Emperor. Continued, when people picture an emperor they see an old man with a long beard, not someone young and handsome like me, so you're drawn to me because of my youth and looks. This isn't desire, it's pure admiration, yet with someone who admires me like you there's always defiance, even the game publisher can't bear the emperor's words. Despite everything improvised, no need to apologize, just serve the prepared dessert. I've made some popular dishes lately but I'm not sure if they'll suit your taste. Took a careful bite, gratitude welling up inside her. Surprised by her calm reaction she realized she could handle this after all. Suddenly the emperor snapped the fork and hurled it to the ground. This tastes awful. For a guest of such distinction this is the highest honor you can offer. The servants rushed forward bowing deeply. Forgive us, your majesty, will bring fresh food at once. Look sick, I thought I might throw up. Rising after scolding the servants, the emperor stood tall. While they prepare the new dish, let me personally guide you through the Sun Palace, where a grand party awaits after our stroll. An honor, your highness. The moment she touched the emperor's hand, he sensed her fear. Trembling, I'm only escorting the lady, how sad that you still distrust me. Felt her strength drain away by the monster, but she fought to stay calm, this wasn't what she intended. The emperor shot a glare and commanded, follow me. The two entered the palace grounds. Rumor has it there was trouble at Valhalla and the duke was furious. The misunderstanding back then is settled, let's just move on. She must be hoping for a reward for her help, right? Frowning confusion, contribute what? The emperor paused then nodded, that's right. Become a royal mage now, I'll grant you magic and your own personal assistant. Grateful for her praise, Emperor interrupted, seizing her hand, his answer was clear, no. What is it you want, lady? This isn't just a reward, it's a test. Hua knew she couldn't ask for anything too small or too grand. If my answer isn't perfect you'll just get mad, what should I even ask for? Two imperial servants rushed over. Jolted and turned as one of the two dropped to his knee, quickly pleading, forgive me, your majesty. Noticed the servant had wrapped fabric around his shoes to muffle his steps, a clear sign the emperor was in a terrible mood. The emperor's eyes blazed as he snapped, we were having a good conversation, now you dare interrupt me. His worry grew, if she did nothing, that servant would surely die before her eyes. Stepped forward and declared, your majesty, I have a wish, I want to enter the royal garden. I want to see the thorn-iced Taurus bloom. Iced horse flower, does that even exist? Yes, your majesty, it's the flower always placed in your room. That flower, its poison can numb my already heightened senses in an instant. So now you want to see that flower and calm me down. Quickly protested, that's not what I meant, I just noticed the noise was giving you a headache, but taking painkillers too often isn't good for you. Maybe a walk in the garden with me could help instead. Visiting the garden for my health is the lady's reward. If it works, His Majesty will protect me. There's no reward greater than this. After you. Together the two entered the royal garden. Her words brought a comforting calm to my heart. Believing all was calm. Suddenly the emperor seized the servant once more. Without hesitation, he hurled him into the garden and gave the order. To honor the ladies for calming my heart. I'll give you one chance, hurry and fetch the flower with the power I need. The thorn-iced Taurus flower heals the emperor, but it's lethal to anyone without magic. Ordinary people die within 5 minutes of contact. Refused to stand by and volunteered, your majesty, let me pick it for him instead. The emperor, upon hearing this, turned to her instead. I never knew she was so compassionate. Great, let me handle this. I'll ask you one question, satisfy me and the servant lives, fail and you know the rest. The lady must kill the servant herself, do you accept the wager?